Class reunion, my first love became my aunt. More than 10 years after graduation, my first love returns to China for a reunion with my high school classmates at the age of 30. My girlfriend wants to go with Ye Yuan. At the reunion, my first love sits next to me. Ziyan, long time no see, how have you been these years? Ye Yuan, very good. Ziyan, are you married? Ye Yuan, no. Ziyan, you are useless. My daughter has graduated from high school and is in college, but you are still not married. Can't let me go? Ye Yuan, you already have a daughter. That's not right. You are only 30. Your daughter is in college. Ziyan, who do you care? I adopted her. Ye Yuan, oh, then you are 30, why are you still single? Ziyan. Ye Yuan, can't let me go? Ziyan, what's wrong with me being single? I have a daughter. It's like you are not single. Ye Yuan, no, I have a girlfriend and we are very loving. The next moment, my girlfriend came late and entered the venue. Everyone was noisy. The girlfriend was stunned and called out to Ye Yuan and Ziyan. Ye Yuan was stunned. Ziyan was stunned. The whole audience was stunned. Chapter 1, The Class Reunion After 10 Years. The Richest Man System has been upgraded. Congratulations, host. The rebate feature has been activated. Whatever the host spends, they will receive double the rebate. As long as the host keeps buying, they will become the wealthiest person in the world. 6 months ago, after turning 30, Ye Yuan awakened the Richest Man System. The system promised to help Ye Yuan become the wealthiest person in the world. Under the system's guidance, Ye Yuan began to engage in stock trading and flipping goods, and within just 1 month, his savings grew from 1,000 to 1,000,000. Soon after, the system upgraded for 3 days and imparted top financial knowledge to Ye Yuan. With this newfound knowledge, Ye Yuan quickly established a company. In just 4 months, his net worth surpassed 1 billion, making him the wealthiest person in Xinguang Town, a picturesque town in Jiangnan. Ye Yuan, a self-made billionaire in under 6 months, was a mystery in the financial world. However, money was not everything. Every time Ye Yuan completed a task assigned by the system, he could feel his body becoming healthier. Now, at 30, Ye Yuan looked like a college student, the kind of handsome idol often seen in dramas. In the boardroom of Yuanwang Group, Ye Yuan stood in front of a mirror, tying his tie. With his sharp eyebrows and bright eyes, standing at 6 feet 1 inch and looking slender yet muscular, no one would believe that this was a man in his early 30s. If I run into my old friends now, I wonder what they'll think. The system was simply too powerful, it had reversed his aging process. The rebate feature, spend how much and get double. The more I spend, the more money I get. Will this get me into trouble? Am I going to end up in prison? Ye Yuan chuckled, adjusting his tie. He wasn't worried after all, the system had introduced this feature, so it must have a solution in place. At that moment, his phone buzzed. It was a message from his high school class group, which had been quiet for a long time. They tagged everyone 10 times in a row. Please don't tell me this is about a class reunion. Ye Yuan opened the group chat and saw a message from Zhongliang, the class monitor. Zhongliang, a second-generation rich kid whose family owned a large hotel business, had recently taken over the business and was doing well. Class monitor Zhongliang, everyone, clear your schedules for this Friday. I've booked the Xinguang Town Wangyuan Mountain Resort for our class reunion. Make sure you all come. No excuses, this is the 10th anniversary reunion. Don't say your boss won't let you go or that you can't get leave. A class reunion. Ye Yuan couldn't help but shake his head. To be honest, unless someone had achieved great success, no one was eager to attend these kinds of reunions. After all, nowadays, these gatherings had turned into an opportunity for men to show off, brag about their wealth, their wives, and put down classmates who hadn't made it. Their women, on the other hand, would compete to show off how successful their husbands were or boast about their children. Ye Yuan had always found excuses to skip these reunions in the past. After all, he hadn't been successful back then, and he knew that if he showed up, he would be the subject of mockery. But this time, he decided it was time to go. Ping! The phone vibrated again. At Ye Yuan, old Yi, you've been quiet after graduation. How is it going? Ye Yuan replied, I'm doing well. Started a small company, keeping busy. Ye Yuan was now a billionaire and the richest person in Xinguang town. Moreover, the venue for this reunion was the very mountain resort that Ye Yuan had acquired and renamed under his company. The class group suddenly became lively. Wow! Old Yi, you're not being honest. You've got a company now, and you're still saying you're just doing all right. Damn, Ye Yuan kept a low profile. Started a company? No wonder you must come to this reunion. We need to see the Yi boss in person. Har har. Yi boss was already handsome back in school, I bet he's even more charming now. After all, men are at their prime at 31. By the way, out of our class of 40, how many are still single? Why do you care? Are you playing matchmaker? Of course. I've just started working in the matchmaking business. If you're single, I can help find someone for you. I've heard some big news. What news? Ziyan, the most popular girl from Su University, is back, and she's still single. Wow. Someone tag her ex-boyfriend. At Ye Yuan, Su University's campus queen is back. Are you still single? I might go after her. Har har. Su Ziyan wouldn't look at you. If Ye Yuan is still single, maybe this reunion will rekindle some old flames. As Ye Yuan read these messages, his eyelid twitched. Su Ziyan was his ex-girlfriend, his first love. They had been each other's first love, and she was a painful memory for him. He rubbed his twitching eyelid as memories flooded back. It felt like a sea of flowers, each petal carrying a different image, a reminder of his youthful arrogance and the promises they made. All of that was now gone. Even their breakup had been unclear. On graduation day, Su Ziyan left for the United States. Her mother came to him and told him that he and Su Ziyan were from two different worlds. Ye Yuan wasn't worthy of Su Ziyan. To prove her point, Su Ziyan's mother offered him 5 million to stay away from her daughter and never contact her again. Young and full of pride, Ye Yuan didn't say the usual "what goes around comes around." Instead, he tore up the check and walked away. He had believed that as long as Su Ziyan loved him, he would make a name for himself and marry her, giving her a life of happiness. But just days later, Su Ziyan broke up with him and deleted all contact. This loss of direction led Ye Yuan to live aimlessly until he awakened the richest man system. Now, Ye Yuan had a girlfriend and was deeply in love. He didn't expect to feel anything when meeting Su Ziyan again at the reunion. However, as his first love, he still hoped that she had been doing well these past years. At that moment, his phone rang again. "Dear, I miss you." The familiar ringtone brought Ye Yuan back to the present. It was his girlfriend, Su Mui's exclusive ringtone. Su Mui was a beautiful young woman who had just come of age but already developed exceptionally well in all aspects. She had an alluring figure, a playful personality, and an enchanting beauty that could captivate anyone. Ye Yuan had met her 3 months ago at the airport when he helped her retrieve her stolen bag and apprehended the thief. She had asked for his contact information to thank him, and they soon became friends. Despite Ye Yuan being in his 30s, his youthful appearance and charm made it impossible for Su Mui to resist, and soon after, they began dating. Ye Yuan didn't care about her wealthy background. For him, it was enough that they liked each other. If anyone tried to oppose their relationship, he wouldn't hesitate to crush them. Chapter 2, The 30-year-old Guy and His Young Girlfriend. Cough, cough. With a light cough, Ye Yuan picked up the phone. HMPH. You let it ring 10 times before answering. Were you doing something bad? Came Su Mui's sulking voice from the other end. Ye Yuan rubbed his nose and casually replied, "Not at all. I was just telling my assistant what to do." Oh. Su Mui's voice turned teasing. Typical, only when something's going on do you ask your assistant to work. When there's nothing, you. Stop. Cut it out. Am I really like that? Ye Yuan wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. His playful girlfriend, who had lived in the US since childhood, was as bold in conversation as anyone. When they talked, she was full of cheeky remarks and didn't hold back. Hee, I'll be done with school soon," Su Mui chirped. "Okay, I'll pick you up after I finish dealing with some documents. I've already made a reservation for dinner." Ye Yuan held the phone in one hand, continuing to write on papers with the other. Good. I'll try not to get too hungry so I can eat more tonight," Su Mui replied. "Eat as much as you want. If you get a little chubby, that LL be cute, Ye Yuan teased. TCH, that's not happening. I can't gain weight. By the way, darling, tomorrow's Friday, right? After school, take me out of town for 2 days. Friday? A 2-day trip out of town. Baby, is something bothering you and you need to get away? Ye Yuan asked, curious. No, actually, I just want to spend some quality time with you, like a honeymoon, Su Mui said. Ye Yuan hesitated for a moment. Let us go on Saturday then. Definitely not. If we go on Saturday, we miss one night of fun, and that's not enough, she insisted. Ye Yuan stopped what he was doing, a little troubled. But I have a class reunion on Friday night, and I already agreed to go. A class reunion? Su Mui sounded suddenly interested and exclaimed, then no honeymoon. Take me to your class reunion. Ye Yuan was momentarily speechless. When it came to impulse, his girlfriend was unmatched. This might not be a good idea, sweetheart. We have a 12-year age gap, and with my classmates, they probably think I'm preying on an innocent young girl. They might even lecture you about your thoughts on love. TCH, I like you for who you are. Who cares about the age difference? I like you, and you look younger than those little fresh meats out there. I feel like I'm the one getting the advantage, Su Mui retorted. My first love will also be there. My first love. In that case, I must go. I want to see what your first love looks like. Plus, you're 30 now, I'll show her how I can totally outshine her and make you look even better. Su Mui said with determination. Ye Yuan couldn't help but laugh. Su Mui was just too adorable. Hearing Ye Yuan stay silent, Su Mui murmured, you said your first love would be there, what if you two rekindle something? Ye Yuan's face darkened. Is that how little confidence you have in yourself, baby? Of course not. I'm the world's #1 beauty. My charm will definitely crush her. Su Mui proudly declared. I don't care. I'm going. I'll take you to show off and fly high with you, she insisted. In the end, Ye Yuan couldn't resist her, so he reluctantly gave in. The two continued their sweet talk, showering each other with affection before finally hanging up the phone. Afterwards, Ye Yuan returned to his work. He really couldn't get enough of his girlfriend, Su Mui. She was like a magic girl, always changing styles whenever they met. One day she was a cool older sister, the next a cute loli, and the day after that, she was an absolute beauty. Ye Yuan couldn't help but be entranced by her. Sometimes, she even acted innocent and fragile, trying to make him give in. But since Ye Yuan adored her so much, he planned to wait until his company went public before giving her everything she wanted. At 4:30 p.m., Ye Yuan drove his Porsche Panamera to the school gate to pick up Su Mui. From a distance, he could already hear the familiar sound of the engine, and Su Mui immediately bounced over, her steps light and fast. Today's style. Very Japanese schoolgirl. She wore a JK uniform, her tall and curvy figure showing off an unparalleled beauty as she jumped and skipped toward him. Every time they met, Su Mui would switch up her style, keeping things fresh for Ye Yuan. Wow, do you like my schoolgirl look? She asked, skillfully opening the car door, hopping inside, and giving him a wink with her sparkling eyes. Ye Yuan smiled and patted her head, replying, of course, I love it. Then which style do you like best? Su Mui suddenly asked. Ye Yuan smiled softly and answered, as long as it's you, I like all of them. Hee, darling, you're too good with words, Su Mui grinned, then kissed him on the cheek. Ye Yuan stroked his face and said, no matter the style, you pull them all off. Wait a second, Su Mui squinted at him, coming closer and staring at him in confusion. The more I look at you, the more handsome you get. Did you secretly get some treatments? It wasn't her imagination. After the system upgrade, it subtly made Ye Yuan even more handsome. What are you thinking? Ye Yuan teased, pinching her little nose. This is what they call beauty in the eyes of the beholder. The more you look at me, the more handsome I seem, and the more I look at you, the more beautiful you are. Although we have a bit of an age gap, I really enjoy being with you. Darling, I love you. Su Mui once again wrapped her arms around Ye Yuan's neck, and the two shared a sweet kiss. After dinner, they went shopping and bought some things before watching a romantic movie together, feeling the sweetness of the moment. The night passed in a flash. The next day, Friday. As usual, after finishing his work, Ye Yuan glanced at the time. It was already 4:30 p.m. The class group chat was buzzing, with many people already at the Wangyuan mountain villa. Ye Yuan received a text from Sumui. Sumui said her mom had suddenly decided to take her from school at 1 p.m. and they were now getting their hair done. Her mom had said, "I'm bored, come keep me company." This had left Sumui feeling a little down, but the stylist had promised that her hair would be done before dinner, so she did catch up with Ye Yuan once she was finished. Ye Yuan didn't think too much of it and headed straight to Wangyuan Mountain Villa. The Villa's restaurant had 3 floors. The first floor was a grand hall with 99 tables, while the second and third floors were private rooms, also totaling 99. The class reunion was held in the most luxurious room on the third floor, room Chenny number 1. Although class leader Zhang Liang had boasted about booking the entire Wangyuan Mountain Villa, it was so large that booking it didn't really have much of an impact. In the end, he chose to book the most luxurious room on the third floor. Even though it was just a private room, the cost could have easily booked an entire 5-star hotel. Zhang Liang's idea was to show off. Ye Yuan went to this villa almost every day, so he was familiar with the place. He made his way up to the third floor and arrived at room Chenny number 1. Inside the room, it was already bustling with noise. Some classmates who used to brag a lot were still at it, making their voices quite loud. Chapter 3, Men at 31 Like Flowers, Growing Younger with Age. Yo! Baldy. You're really balding more, huh? Now you're practically as bad as Old Man with his Mediterranean haircut. Scram? Yeah, I'm balding, but I've gotten stronger. You wouldn't understand. This is the price of getting stronger. Pfft. Stop acting tough. You just said one sentence and now you're drinking water? Oh, and look at that thermos, let me guess, it's filled with goji berries. Goji berries, my ass. I'm in great shape. If you can piss 10 yards into the wind, I'll beat you by a yard. Alright, let's see it. Alright, you too. We're all in our 30s now. Sure, men at 31 are like flowers, but you can't pretend you're still a young man. Yeah, back in the day, we'd sneak out at night, climb the school wall to go to an internet cafe, stay up all night playing games, and still be full of energy for sports the next day. But now? If you ask me to work overtime until 10 p.m., I can barely handle it. Yeah, that's normal. Here, I have some premium goji berries. Listening to his old classmates banter back and forth, Ye Yuan smiled. For normal people, school days were truly the most beautiful time of their lives. Years of no contact, but now, gathering with old classmates, the conversation still flowed as easily as ever. It felt nice. Hey, young man, did you get the wrong room? At that moment, class president Zhang Liang, who had just finished a phone call, noticed Ye Yuan standing at the door to the private room. When he spoke, everyone fell silent and turned to look at the door. Ye Yuan was 1.85 meters tall, dressed in a suit, but his face made him look like a university student who hadn't entered society yet. Probably a waiter, one of his classmates commented. No, I didn't get the wrong room. And I'm not a waiter, Ye Yuan replied, one hand in his pocket, speaking in a clear and powerful voice. He stood tall and radiated confidence, his aura was impressive. This caused the group to freeze for a moment. He looks so familiar. Holy shit. Is that? Some of the classmates recognized him, but the female classmates all widened their eyes, staring intently at Ye Yuan. After all, he was too handsome. And women at 30, well, such a handsome guy was worth a good look. My god. You're Ye Yuan. Class president Zhang Liang finally realized who it was, his eyes widening. Ye Yuan. The name rang out in everyone's ears, and they started to closely observe his features. The Ye Yuan they knew from school and the Ye Yuan standing before them now, the resemblance was undeniable. Holy crap. What's going on? It's really him. Shit. This is amazing. One person couldn't help but exclaim in awe. I don't believe it. How is this possible? 10 years have passed. How has time not left a mark on Ye Yuan's face? This is insane. I honestly think Ye Yuan looks even better than before. Some classmates even took out their phones to check their old graduation photos. After a quick comparison, everyone's expressions were priceless. Some were shocked, some frowned, and others were looking at Ye Yuan with infatuated eyes. They were all in their 30s now, and the passage of time had inevitably left some marks on their faces. But Ye Yuan? What kind of freak of nature was he? He looked like he was reversing age. Even better looking than in high school, with an air of maturity and confidence that made him even more irresistible. As for Ye Yuan, he had already imagined how his old classmates would react when they saw him, so he didn't feel awkward or uncomfortable. Instead, he found the whole situation funny and refreshing. Was the class reunion fun? Look at these guys, some were balding, some had wrinkles, others were sipping goji berry tea or applying makeup to cover up the years. But Ye Yuan? He was naturally handsome, a total knockout. His girlfriend, Sumui, had said she would come to help him save face, to show off and act cool. But now, before he even had the chance, his old classmates were already questioning their lives. Several trendy-looking male classmates instinctively fixed their hair, straightened their postures, trying to look younger. One guy with a beer belly, possibly feeling threatened, sucked in his stomach so hard it looked like he was trying to disappear. The female classmates. Most of them quickly turned around, pulling out makeup to touch up their faces and hide the signs of aging. Some others just stared at Ye Yuan, eyes full of longing, as if they wanted to devour him. Cough, cough. Ye Yuan cleared his throat to break the awkward silence. Come on, stop staring. Let's continue chatting like we were before. Right, where were we? Baldy. Come on, let's see who can pee father. The group finally started to recover from their shock. Just as Ye Yuan was about to find a seat, a group of female classmates surrounded him. Ye Yuan, it's me. I'm your desk mate. Do you remember me? I'm still single. Ye Yuan, I'm the publicity committee member. I'm also single. I confessed to you in freshman year, remember? Ye Yuan, we're really old classmates. We even danced together in elementary school. You were the first guy to hold my hand. What's up? I just got divorced. Ye Yuan, I'm your front desk, Mar Dong. The barrage of greetings left Ye Yuan a little stunned. These female classmates were so enthusiastic. He was sure that if he weren't this handsome, they wouldn't have surrounded him so eagerly. As the saying goes, women, 30 is like a wolf, 40 like a tiger, 50 can suck dirt off the ground, 60 eat people and spit out bones, 70 catch mice through walls, 80 even cannons become outdated, 90 reach heaven to capture Buddha, and 100 go down to meet the king of hell. If Ye Yuan had to come up with the counter line, it would be, men at 31 are like flowers, growing younger as they age. But the saying wasn't wrong. The female classmates had fully embraced their 30 like a wolf part. Now, they were practically ready to drag Ye Yuan away, turning into tigers, devouring him without spitting out the bones. At this moment, Ye Yuan realized why his girlfriend, Sumui, had insisted on coming. It wasn't just to help him save face or to show off. It was to declare her territory and tell all these female classmates, she, Sumui, is Ye Yuan's girlfriend. After all, Ye Yuan now looked like the campus heartthrob of his school. His admirers could fill an entire teaching building. Surrounded by different scents of perfume, Ye Yuan couldn't help but feel a little suffocated. Perfume was great, but the mixture of different fragrances was almost overwhelming. Unable to take it anymore, Ye Yuan swiftly found an opening in the crowd of girls and quickly made his way out, sitting down at a table. He pulled out his phone and started playing, completely ignoring the chatter around him. The scene caused several female classmates to shoot him annoyed glances. Still, a few of them refused to give up and stayed close, continuing their chatter. The male classmates' expressions were priceless, particularly their eyes, which showed pure jealousy and dissatisfaction. Chapter 4, First Love. In contemporary society, to put it bluntly, a class reunion is not just a simple class reunion. Class reunions are where successful people show off, where unsuccessful people seek help, where women compete and show off, and where divorced people look for a second spring. When we were students, there were always people in the class who had a crush on their classmates, and there were also people who dated each other but eventually broke up. There are many examples nowadays, such as class reunions, ex-boyfriends or girlfriends, or first loves, who get drunk and accidentally have sex, rekindle old flames, and resume their past relationships. Like the class reunion that Ye Yuan is having now. Those successful people, before they even started to show off, had already been robbed of their limelight by Ye Yuan. With his anti-aging appearance, Ye Yuan made them all envious and jealous. As for some students who wanted to find a second spring, they gave up the idea immediately after seeing Ye Yuan's appearance and the passionate eyes of the female classmates. "Look!" A classmate pointed at the door and shouted. At this time, a graceful figure dressed in a black office outfit, black stockings on her legs, and black high heels walked into the door of the box. The woman's jet black hair fluttered as she walked, making her look particularly charming. The delicate cheeks and beautiful makeup are pleasing to the eye and very eye-catching. Their fair and flawless skin is very pleasing to the eyes, especially the temperament, confidence, elegance and nobility that she exudes. Beneath her beauty are sharp eyes. Once a man meets her gaze, he will either be deeply attracted and unable to extricate himself, or be frightened by her aura. Seeing her, Ye Yuan frowned slightly. I didn't expect that he would really come. She's the campus beauty of Ziyan University. Yes. Ziyan is here. She is still as beautiful as ever, but now she has become more mature and cool. The school beauty goddess of her generation did not become old and ugly with the passage of time, but became more imposing and more beautiful. If Ye Yuan is said to be anti-aging, then Ziyan's maintenance is at the level of a fairy. The temperament exuded by Ziyan made Ye Yuan know that she must have experienced a lot over the years. "Classmates, I haven't seen you for 10 years. How are you all doing?" Ziyan had a blank expression on her face. After looking around, her eyes were fixed on Ye Yuan. I have to say that Ziyan has an amazing aura. As soon as she appeared, the scene was quiet for a while. All the male students present were attracted by Ziyan and they stared at her with their eyes almost falling out. The female classmates were unhappy. They were completely and instantly defeated by Ziyan in every aspect. Several old classmates who were still close to each other in school gathered around Ye Yuan and started bragging. "After all, you have been in society for 10 years. How can you still be as innocent as when you were in school?" They knew that no matter what they were like now, they could not compare to Ye Yuan in terms of appearance. So, as people kept bragging, slowly the topic turned to work, income, and family. Before, Ye Yuan would have been very resistant to such a sensitive topic. But now, Ye Yuan's net worth has exceeded 10 billion, and his company is about to go public, so naturally he is not at all afraid of his classmates mentioning this topic. Ye Yuan said lightly that he had started a company and had a girlfriend who was 12 years younger than him and they were very much in love. The classmates around him were all in disbelief. After Ye Yuan's body was systematically strengthened, there were significant improvements in all aspects. He clearly noticed Ziyan's gaze, which she looked at him from time to time. Soon, the dinner began. Not sure if it was some old classmate's trick or something, but Ye Yuan and Ziyan were arranged to sit at the same table next to each other. This also became a scenic spot in the box. Handsome man and beautiful woman, plus both of them were each other's first love. The classmates whispered and started gossiping. Ye Yuan sat in his seat, looking down at his phone. "Ye Yuan, I haven't seen you for 10 years. How are you?" Ziyan asked with a smile. Ye Yuan raised his head, glanced at her, and nodded slightly. "Very good." After saying that, he continued to play with his phone. Since arriving in the box, Ziyan's eyes rarely left Ye Yuan. Now Ye Yuan was so cold that she felt a little chill in her heart. Then the awkward atmosphere began. The two of them were silent for a while. Ye Yuan didn't want to have anything to do with Ziyan because he already had a girlfriend and was in love with her. Ziyan hadn't contacted Ye Yuan for 10 years and didn't know what to say. Although the two of them were too awkward to talk to each other, the other students were chatting lively. As soon as the food and wine came, everyone started to toast each other and reminisce about the past. When the female classmates saw Ye Yuan treating Ziyan so coldly, they immediately felt that there was still a chance. They didn't care that next to Ye Yuan was the campus beauty from Ziyan University who could beat them in every way. They only knew that Ye Yuan was the best prey at the party. Almost one after another, they rushed to Ye Yuan's side. Of course, those who dared to toast Ye Yuan were all pretty. Most of them were single, a few were newly divorced, and some had incompetent husbands at home and were unwilling to be lonely and wanted to find excitement. "Come on, Ye Yuan, I'll toast you a glass. Do you remember me? I'm that Mardong. Ye Yuan, come drink with me. I liked you so much when we were in school, but I'm still single now. Ye Yuan, I heard that you started a business. I am now a senior executive in an investment company. This is my business card. If you need any help, I am always waiting for your call. Hey, why are you so impatient? Come, let's toast to handsome Mr. Ye. Ye Yuan felt helpless and had to pour a glass for himself. He took the business card, put it on the table and raised his glass. Then I'll drink first to show my respect. After he finished speaking, he drank the wine in the glass in one gulp. Although he didn't like it very much, Ye Yuan still chose to abide by the basic etiquette and rules at the drinking table in society. Since you're here to toast me, no matter what your intention is, I'll accept your offer and give you face. If you dare to toast me, then I'll drink. Whatever you want to talk about after drinking, whether you listen or not is my business. Seeing Ye Yuan so happy, the girls became even happier. As soon as they finished toasting, they immediately filled up their glasses and continued to drink with Ye Yuan. To be honest, they really wanted to get Ye Yuan drunk and then something would happen. After all, there were more wolves than meat at this class reunion. Cut. Seeing Ye Yuan being toasted by a group of female classmates, Ziyan couldn't help but curl her lips and whispered to herself, "It's been 10 years. Although you are still as handsome, you still don't know how to say no. I really don't know why I liked you in the first place. When I confessed to you for the first time, you rejected me without hesitation." Ye Yuan raised his eyebrows. Others may not be able to hear Ziyan's words, but Ye Yuan's body has undergone systematic transformation and his hearing is excellent, so he naturally heard it. The words and tone of the words are full of emotion. Is it anger? Complaint? Self-mockery? It even has a sour vinegar taste. This can't be possible. Could it be that Ziyan still likes me? Ye Yuan finished his drink, sat down, looked at Ziyan beside him, and after a long silence, he said, "You won't." Chapter 5, First Love is So Powerful. Har har har, old Ye, you were a talented person who dominated the whole school back then. How come we haven't seen each other for 10 years? Why are you leaving? At this time, the organizer of this party, squad leader Zhang Liang, came to Ye Yuan with a glass of wine. Ye Shen was a little unhappy. Damn it, I had just been thinking about it for a while and decided to ask, but you showed up in time to interrupt the spell. But since he had come over to toast, Ye Yuan had to give him face, so he filled up his empty glass again, stood up, and clinked the glass with Zhang Liang's, one more. Readily. They both raised their heads and drank it all in one gulp. After finishing his drink, Ye Yuan sat down, the words he just said stuck on his lips, and he was too embarrassed to say them out loud. Zhang Liang did not leave, but looked at Ye Yuan with a smile, and said loudly, "Classmates, I am really happy that Ye Yuan can come today." Ye Yuan looked up at him and felt that Zhang Liang was up to something weird. Zhang Liang said, looking around at the students present, "I thought he was afraid that I would hit him, so he kept hiding from me." Har 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 har. Everyone burst into laughter. With everyone's eyes on him, Zhang Liang looked at Ziyan and said, "School beauty of Su University, you know I liked you when we were in school. If it weren't for Ye Yuan who got there first." "No, you misunderstood. It's Ye Yuan that I'm pursuing." Ziyan replied expressionlessly. Zhang Liang's cheek twitched when he heard this. All the classmates were watching, which made Zhang Liang feel very embarrassed. The old classmates were all very surprised. None of them had expected that it was Ziyan who pursued Ye Yuan back then. That's right. In order to ease the embarrassment and save face, Zhang Liang attacked Ye Yuan again. "Ye Yuan, a few days ago I ran into a classmate from our former school basketball team. He asked, you applied for a job at his company half a year ago. It seems that his company is a small investment company." As soon as he said this, everyone understood what Zhang Liang meant. He wanted to make fun of Ye Yuan. Yes. Ye Yuan laughed, "It was because this company was too small and I found it boring. After I passed the interview, I turned him down and started my own company to try my luck." "Oh? What's the name of your company?" Although Zhang Liang learned about Ye Yuan's company opening news in the group yesterday, he couldn't find any information no matter how hard he tried. Therefore, he felt that Ye Yuan was either lying or their company had no reputation at all. Ye Yuan, small company, small company. Zhang Liang chuckled and asked, "What do you do?" Ye Yuan, investment. "Oh. What a coincidence. I'm also an investor." Zhang Liang immediately became happy and said proudly, if you have any difficulties in the future, just come to me, my old classmate. I will definitely support you. I dare say that in the financial industry, no one here can do better than me." Ye Yuan sneered. His own wealth completely overwhelmed Zhang Liang's rich second-generation family. He was too lazy to argue, so he refused. "No need." "Hey! Don't need it." Zhang Liang shook his head and said, "That's right. You were the top student in the school back then, so you naturally looked down on us who are now working in finance with an annual salary of 1 million. Many of the people present are working in finance." As soon as these words were spoken, the atmosphere became heavy. Ye Yuan frowned, took a breath, and said, "Remove the word we. I. Okay, if you keep talking, we're going to start a fight." "That's right, we are all old classmates, there is really no need to do this. Come on, everyone, drink." A few classmates acted as peacemakers and immediately livened up the atmosphere. Ye Yuan didn't want to argue with him, so he took out his cell phone and started playing with it. Zhang Liang quickly recovered and smiled at Ziyan, who was standing next to him with a blank expression. "Su University beauty, no matter what, we are classmates. We haven't seen each other for 10 years. Let's have a drink together." As he spoke, Zhang Liang had already filled his glass. "Good." Ziyan smiled wryly, picked up the juice on the table and poured it into the empty cup beside her, then picked up the cup and said, "But I drove here, so you can treat this glass of coconut juice as white wine." After saying this, he drank their white wine in the glass. Well, Zhang Liang didn't know what to say for a moment. Ziyang's attitude towards me is too cold, and, although coconut milk is white, isn't white wine transparent? Oh, forget it. School beauty Su's liquor is indeed white. I drank the glass of impure transparent liquor in my hand. Zhang Liang said this with a smile on his face as he took 2 big gulps. Maybe he was too angry and almost spit it out, but he still forced himself to swallow it. Originally, he wanted to pretend to be cool, so he toasted Ye Yuan with red wine and Ziyan with a glass of white wine to show his manly side. Unexpectedly, Ziyan didn't even want to step on him. Zhang Liang believed that if he had not hosted this party, Ziyan might not even pay attention to him. The reason for holding a class reunion this time was because he heard that Ziyan had returned to China, so he tried to call for it in the group. Unexpectedly, Ziyan actually agreed to participate, which made him very happy. But the current situation made him very unhappy. After drinking the glass of white wine, Zhang Liang breathed a sigh of relief. After calming down a bit, he looked at Ziyan and asked, "Speaking of which, the campus beauty of Su University, you have returned to China after 10 years. This time, are you going to develop in China, or are you just coming back for fun?" Ziyan first glanced at Ye Yuan, then took out a business card from the Hermes bag beside her. "Return to China for development, this is my business card." Returning to China for development. That would be great. Zhang Liang took the business card with a smile, took a look at it, his eyes almost popped out, and he looked surprised. When Ye Yuan, who was standing by, saw Zhang Liang's application, he turned his head and took a look at the business card. The business card contains the company, name, position, work phone number and email address. President of Eva Investment Kyushu District. Even Ye Yuan felt a little surprised. Although he knew that Ziyan's family was rich and powerful, in theory, Ziyan should take over the family business. Then there is only one answer, that is, Ziyan has performed very well abroad in recent years, so she was recruited into Eva Investment and appointed as the president of the Kyushu district. You have to know that Ziyan is only in her early 30s. I didn't expect that my first love had quietly become so powerful. This, Su University Campus Beauty, it turns out that you are the legendary president of Eva Investment who parachuted from the United States to Zhuzhou district. Zhang Liang couldn't help but take a breath. Anyone would think that the person who parachuted in was an old man of Mediterranean appearance. But who knew that it was Ziyan? You know, Eva Investment is one of the world's top investment companies. Ziyan is only in her early 30s, but she has already become the president of Zhuzhou district. This shows how much the head office values her. In other words, Ziyan's abilities are outstanding. At this moment, Zhang Liang felt a burning sensation on his face. Just now he was pretentiously saying that in the financial industry, among the people present, no one could do better than him. But in front of Ziyan, he is nothing. Of course, he didn't know that even if he was placed in front of Ye Yuan, he would be nothing more than a fart. Chapter 6. My daughter is already in school. At Ye Yuan's table, Ye Yuan and Su Ziyan are both scenic spots. So a group of female classmates gathered around, and the male classmates at other tables also kept their eyes on Su Ziyan. In addition, Zhang Liang came over to toast, and almost everyone was looking here, most of them wanting to watch the show. But now Zhang Liang was shocked and said this loudly. So what? Zhang Liang smiled awkwardly, poured a glass of red wine into his empty glass, and then raised his glass. Let's raise our glasses together. Congratulations to the beauty of Sichuan University for becoming the president of Ye Yuan Investment Zhuzhou District. Congratulations. As expected of a talented lady back then, congratulations to Miss Su. Come on, drink some wine. Most people raised their glasses and toasted Su Ziyan from a distance. Su Ziyan poured another glass of coconut milk and drank it. When the atmosphere was about right, Zhang Liang squinted his eyes and looked at Ye Yuan, smiling. Su Ziyan was a talented girl back then, and you, Ye Yuan, are a talented man, and your grades have always been number one. Since you opened your own company, it must not be some unknown, unreputable small company, right? Ye Yuan frowned slightly when he heard that. He didn't really want to answer Zhang Liang. When Zhang Liang asked him questions before, he had cleverly ignored them. Now it seems that it is unavoidable. Can you tell me the name of your company? How much liquid capital do you have? Yes, we are all very curious. You were once hailed as a rare genius that only appears once in a century. Mr. Yi, I'm unemployed recently. How is your company? If it's doing well, I'd like to come and work without any special care. The classmates started to make a noise. Ye Yuan picked up a piece of tofu and ate it, then said calmly, that's enough. You have to make yourself uncomfortable. Zhang Liang, I know you have always disliked me and tried every way to step on me. As for me, I opened a small company half a year ago with total assets of 10 billion. Although it is only a company with total assets of 10 billion, I don't take you seriously at all now. I didn't want to argue with you before, because you don't deserve it. I'll tell you the truth. My company is Ye Yuan Group, and this Ye Yuan Villa is mine. You can't move me now, no matter how hard you try. This is my territory. It's easy for me to deal with you, so don't challenge my patience. After saying that, Ye Yuan started to eat leisurely. When Ye Yuan's words fell into everyone's ears, the whole place was silent, and everyone looked shocked. Especially Zhang Liang, his expression was more uncomfortable than if he had eaten shit. Ye Yuan Group is a legend. In just half a year, the company's assets exceeded 10 billion. No one knows who the president of Ye Yuan Group is, but according to official announcement, the president's surname is Yi. Look far, Ye Yuan. This time, everyone reacted. Zhang Liang could never have imagined that Ye Yuan, whom he had always looked down upon, was now so awesome. The place where he held the class reunion turned out to be Ye Yuan's territory. Then what I did just now was really a waste of my life. Fortunately, Ye Yuan didn't care about anything. After all, Zhang Liang has been in society for 10 years and has rich social experience. He dare not continue to do stupid things. The current Ye Yuan is far from someone he can afford to offend. While everyone was stunned, Zhang Liang quickly slipped back to his table. Fuck. Ye Yuan Group. It turns out that this legendary Ye Yuan Group was founded by Ye Yuan Kai. You are indeed a talented person and a role model for our generation. It seems that our class is still strong. Two geniuses and a talented woman have established one of the best investment companies in the world. The president of the Zhuzhou district of Ye Yuan Investment is even more talented. He opened a company with assets of 10 billion in half a year. Boss Yi, please hug me. Suddenly, their whole audience was amazed. And the look that group of female classmates gave Ye Yuan became even more naked. Listen to what Ye Yuan said. In his words, it is a small company with assets of just over 10 billion. With such confidence, I believe that as long as given time, Ye Yuan Group will definitely become one of the top super enterprises in the country. She is only 30 years old, but she has taken such good care of herself, with a great appearance and figure. Which woman doesn't love a man like this? If there weren't so many people here, I believe many single or divorced female classmates would pounce on Ye Yuan without hesitation, like wolves and tigers, and would not spit out any bones after eating him. Feeling the gazes from all around, Ye Yuan continued to eat his meal calmly, as if he had become accustomed to such small scenes. After that, people would come to toast Ye Yuan from time to time, wanting him to help them. After all, the cards have been laid bare, and the identity is there, so most people would like to marry into a higher position. Ziyan watched all of this. She said expressionlessly, "He has always been so popular with women. Now that he has money and status, there must be a lot of women around him." Of course, Ye Yuan still heard it. He glanced at Ziyan, who did not avoid his gaze and glared at Ye Yuan fiercely. As time passed, everyone drank happily and gathered together to chat and have fun. A group of classmates next to Ye Yuan were talking to him about investment issues. There were also many female classmates surrounding Ziyan. One of the female classmates who was married and had children in elementary school asked Ziyan, "By the way, Ziyan, you have been abroad all these years. Are you married? Do you have children?" Ziyan glanced at Ye Yuan after hearing this, and then said lightly, "My daughter has returned to China to study, and she has a boyfriend." Since Ye Yuan and Ziyan were the focus of the party, a group of people gathered here. Although Ziyan's voice was not loud, most people still heard it. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was dumbfounded. Ye Yuan was not too upset. It is normal to get married and have children after living abroad for 10 years. After all, Ziyan is such an outstanding person and so beautiful. "What? Your husband is a foreigner?" a female classmate asked curiously. Ziyan shook her head and said, "I don't have a husband." Female classmate, "Are you divorced?" Ziyan, "I have never been married. To be precise, I have never had any contact with a man since I went abroad." Fuck. I don't know who said fuck, but then everyone started to say fuck together. Ziyan said that she has never had any contact with men since she went abroad. But she has a daughter. Could it be? Suddenly, the students started to imagine wildly. 10 years ago, Ye Yuan and Ziyan were still together and were deeply in love. Although no one knew what happened, they were indeed in love before graduation. In other words, after graduation, Ye Yuan and Ziyan broke up, and Ziyan went abroad. Moreover, Ziyan had no contact with men after going abroad, but she has a daughter. "My daughter has returned to China to study. The youngest age for studying must be 8 or 9 years old, right? Maybe he will be exactly 10 years old and go to primary school." Swish, swish, swish. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Ye Yuan. Gulp. Ye Yuan swallowed his saliva, his back felt cold, and he was extremely panicked. "No way, no way. Could it be that Ziyan's daughter is my child?" Chapter 7, First Love is Anxious. Jealous? The more I thought about it, the more panicked I became. The more I thought about it, the more possible it seemed. If that's the case, wouldn't I be a heartless person? Although everything was blocked by Ziyan's mother. But even if it is true, Ye Yuan will not rekindle the old love. He is very clear that he loves his girlfriend very much. Don't make up your mind. My daughter has nothing to do with Ye Yuan. Ziyan's words brought everyone back to the display. But the next second, the students' expressions became even more interesting. "Not Ye Yuan's child. I broke up with Ye Yuan after graduating from university. Could it be that the campus beauty of Suzhou University cheated, which is why the two broke up?" Ye Yuan heaved a sigh of relief. Almost became a father. To be honest, if he really became a father, he really wouldn't know what to do. Abandon your girlfriend? That's impossible. Get back together with Ziyan? Maybe it would have happened before, but now, my girlfriend is the most beautiful girl in the world. But at the same time, Ye Yuan also felt a little embarrassed. My first love already has a daughter who is in school. But what about yourself? Now I am starting my second relationship. It seems that I have to hurry up and have a baby. Honey, I missed you. Just then, Ye Yuan's cell phone rang. It was his girlfriend's exclusive ringtone. The second time that everyone present was imagining was brought back by the ringing of Ye Yuan's cell phone. Damn, you're an adult, but you're still using such fancy ringtones. It's such a disappointment to my old classmates. As a man, you should be a macho man. If you want to make a ringtone, make it louder. Oh, I'll punch you to death with my little fist. Ye Yuan's cell phone ringtone was so obvious that one could easily associate it with a call from his girlfriend. Ye Yuan, your cell phone ringtone is okay. What Ye Yuan? Call me Mr. Yi. Hey, Mr. Yi, is it Mrs. Yi who is looking for you? This ringtone must be from Mrs. Yi. She called you at dinner time. She probably missed you. Mr. Yi, please answer the phone. Answer the phone, answer the phone, answer the phone. Ye Yuan. This group of old classmates enjoy watching the fun and will definitely make a fuss if they can. Besides, everyone had drunk quite a bit of wine before and now they were in high spirits, so naturally they wanted to join in the fun. Ye Yuan's first love Su Ziyang is right next to him at home. How can he let go of such a good opportunity? Ahem. Ye Yuan coughed lightly. It's a girlfriend, not a rich man. I'm going out to answer a call. After saying that, I wanted to stand up. Who knew that the next second, Su Ziyan pulled him down again and said in a cold voice, "We have known each other for so many years. It's not a work call, it's just a girlfriend. Are you afraid that one of us will kidnap you? Just answer it here." As he spoke, his tone became increasingly agitated, his expression gradually lost control, and his eyes seemed to become watery. Ye Yuan felt helpless when faced with such tough measures and words. I said, "Sister, we have been separated for 10 years. Why do you look like this now? You look just like you did when you were jealous 10 years ago. Even if you still like me, I have a girlfriend now and I won't do anything out of line. Besides, you already have a daughter, so what's wrong with me having a girlfriend? If you are unhappy, find one too." And the same goes for this group of old classmates. I originally wanted to keep a low profile and ask my girlfriend not to come, but since you guys are so eager for excitement, I will satisfy you. So, Ye Yuan answered the phone. Honey, that barber is unreliable and slow, and my mother is even more unreliable. She actually left me and ran away. Su Mui's voice like a silver bell came from the other end of the phone. Su Ziyan, I'll be at Wang Yuan Villa soon, drink less and wait for me obediently. Beep, beep. Ye Yuan. Although he knew Su Ziyan's personality, Ye Yuan felt very embarrassed because he didn't say a word during the whole call. It would be fine at other times, but now all my old classmates are here. Can't you let me talk, little girl? For example, I can come out to pick you up. Ye Yuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry, so he put away his phone. Although the call was not played out loud, the moment Ye Yuan answered the phone, everyone put down their chopsticks and shut up. Therefore, they clearly heard that the voice coming from the other end of Ye Yuan's phone was a girl's voice. And she's a very young girl. Probably between high school and college. From this we can see that Ye Yuan is an old cow that can eat young grass. The male students all felt powerless and uncomfortable. Why? It really is. We are all human beings, so why should men make things difficult for other men? At the same age, Ye Yuan looks 10 years younger than them. At the same age, Ye Yuan earns hundreds of times more than them. At the same age, Ye Yuan found a girlfriend that they couldn't even imagine. A strong man locks up a man, and then a man is put on top of another man. Ye Yuan is so outstanding, how can they survive? He is handsome, very rich, young and promising. This kind of person should be the male protagonist in a novel. At this moment, the male compatriot was so shocked that he began to doubt his life. This is not it, they started complaining. Fuck. I'm so angry. I shouldn't have let Ye Yuan answer the phone. Stop talking. I'm dying. I've been single until now. Am I so ugly that people can't look at me? Yes, it's horrible. Get lost. I just look like an uncle, but don't little girls like uncles? In all these years, no little girl has ever liked me. Why is that? The uncle that little girls like must be handsome. So save yourself the trouble, ha 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 ha. Let's ask Ye Yuan how he got to know the little girl. No need to ask, I'll answer you. First, you need to have Ye Yuan's handsome looks, and second, you need to be rich. Goodbye. The world is not worth it. The evil winner in life, Ye Yuan. Okay, is it so difficult to admit that Ye Yuan is excellent? After all, he was a super talent back then. It's normal for him to have such achievements. The classmates were talking to each other. Ye Yuan listened and smiled in his heart. This is the excitement you seek for yourself. At the same time, he clearly felt the gaze of Su Ziyang beside him. Ye Yuan observed calmly with his peripheral vision. At this moment, Su Ziyang looked at him with resentment, and her eyes seemed to become more moist. And the way he subconsciously bites his lower lip. Ye Yuan was very familiar with this, it was Su Ziyan's jealous expression. Didn't he expect that after 10 years, these little habits haven't he changed? Well, according to her personality, once she gets jealous, she will definitely verbally attack. Hey, Ye Yuan, being handsome and rich is great. You've had a great life in the past 10 years. You must be busy to have such a young girlfriend, right? You've changed girlfriends a lot, right? As expected, Su Ziyan launched a verbal attack directly. Chapter 8, Words from First Love. Ever since you met her first love just now, she has been sarcastic and mocking me. Ye Yuan also developed a little temper. It's been 10 years since we broke up, is it necessary to be so sarcastic? Moreover, it was not Ye Yuan's fault that they broke up that year, and Su Ziyan deleted the contact information herself. So, what does she mean now? Are you still sentimental about me? But mist is mist after all. The main road is on the side, and we can go our separate ways, isn't that good? Besides, you already have a daughter who is already in school. Aren't you satisfied? Why do you want a girlfriend so young? You must be busy, right? You must have changed girlfriends a lot, right? Is Ye Yuan such a person? Double standards. A typical self-centered person who only allows officials to set fires but not allow ordinary people to light lamps. It's been 10 years since I broke up with you and finally found this lover. I've changed your sisters so many times. What are you talking about? Scumbag? Neptune? Old central air conditioner? Even if it's true, what does it have to do with you? Did I cheat on you? Are you trying to steal your cabbage? Ye Yuan would not say it out loud. He just smiled and said, not tired, not tired. Compared to you raising a daughter by yourself, I am as happy as a god. Hearing this, Su Ziyan's brows tightened, her eyes narrowed, and her tone became a little higher. She said in a sarcastic tone, yes, have fun, you are as happy as a god, because you are handsome and rich. But these days, girls are too disrespectful. I don't know if you coerced or bribed them. The two looked at each other with extremely sharp eyes. The people around couldn't help but step back a little. They knew that a big battle was about to begin. Moreover, most people present could hear that the words spoken by the campus beauty of Sichuan University were full of jealousy. She obviously couldn't let go of Ye Yuan. The air here is so sour. Everyone quieted down, raised their eyebrows and exchanged glances with each other, ready to watch the fun together. At this moment, Ye Yuan and Su Ziyan, this first love, have not seen each other for 10 years, and they are definitely going to fight. Su Ziyan, what do you think of me, Ye Yuan? Ye Yuan said calmly, in modern society, love between men and women is important. What do you mean by coercion and inducement? What do you mean by girls nowadays not having enough self-respect? My girlfriend and I are in a relationship, it's open and above board, we both want to be together. I'm 12 years older than her, but so what? Does love have to be based on age? Su Ziyan was so angry that she was fuming. She glared at Ye Yuan, that's unreasonable. It turns out that men change when they have money. In the past, how would Ye Yuan dare to retort? Now, you find a girlfriend who is 12 years younger than you, and you feel so confident about it. What about love knows no age? Is there really pure love in the world? To be honest, Su Ziyan herself didn't know why she was so out of control and so emotional today. Indeed, she broke up with Ye Yuan simply because she couldn't get past her mother. She knew it wasn't Ye Yuan's fault. Before coming to this class reunion, she came because she knew that Ye Yuan would attend. Before coming here, she had been reminding herself not to get excited when seeing Ye Yuan, and to find a chance to apologize for her mother's disrespect that year. But for some reason, she felt very uncomfortable when she heard that Ye Yuan had a girlfriend. Especially Ye Yuan's girlfriend, who is 12 years younger than him. In her opinion, Ye Yuan was just cheating on other people's feelings, an old cow eating young grass, a scumbag. She had thought about a lot before coming here. Even if Ye Yuan got married and had children, she would not be so excited or angry. To put it bluntly, firstly, she hadn't let it go, and secondly, Ye Yuan's deception of the little girl made her very angry. The more she thought about it, the angrier she got, and the angrier she got, the more she thought about it. Su Ziyan fell into a vicious circle. Unreasonable. Ye Yuan sneered and said, you also know my personality. I do what I want. Let alone the fact that I am 12 years younger than you, even if I find an old lady to date, what does it have to do with you? You. Su Ziyan was furious. To be honest, Ye Yuan was also quite angry. To him, his girlfriend is a treasure that he holds in the palm of his hand. Since Su Ziyan dared to say that his girlfriend had no self-respect, of course he had to fight back. Even though he knew that Su Ziyan was jealous and said this in anger, their relationship ended 10 years ago, so he would not allow Su Ziyan to talk about his girlfriend. Ye Yuan, you bastard! Su Ziyan shouted angrily, even if you find an old lady to date, I won't say anything. You don't have children, so you don't understand the feelings of us parents with children. Don't understand how parents feel. Ye Yuan admitted that there was indeed a 12-year age difference between the two, and it was difficult to get past the parents' approval, but he believed that he had no problem. Su Ziyan's cheeks flushed with anger. She looked around and said loudly, most of you here are married and have children, and have become parents, right? Think about it yourself. If your child finds a boyfriend or girlfriend who is 12 years older than him, or even about the same age as you, how would you feel? How would you feel if the other party came to your house and called you father-in-law and mother-in-law? As soon as these words were spoken, everyone looked at each other in surprise. Su Ziyan was angry, but every word she said made sense. Plus, with many years of experience in the business world, her aura was enough to intimidate the entire place. As soon as she said this, her old classmates began to think about it. The whole place was very quiet. Many people made eye contact, but no one dared to speak. They are just spectators who just want to join in the fun and listen to gossip. Who would like to get themselves involved in something like this? Ye Yuan took a sip of wine to calm down. What Su Ziyan said really hit him hard. Damn, I am 30 years old and not married or having children. I have really brought shame to the Chinese people. If it were the older generation, they would have been beaten to death long ago. The family Bao is urging them to get married and arranging blind dates for them every day, just like Justice Bao. Moreover, Su Ziyan kept calling Ye Xian parent and child all the time, as if it was a very rebellious thing for Ye Xian to have a girlfriend who was 12 years younger than him. Damn, you have a daughter, you're amazing. It's like I seduced your daughter. The question is your daughter an adult? Is your daughter 1/10 as pretty as my Su Mui? Look, I'm going to give birth to a son. When my son grows up, he will seduce your daughter and make you question your life. Now it was Ye Yuan's turn to get angrier the more he thought about it. The angrier he got, the more he thought about it, and he fell into a vicious circle. Seeing that no one spoke, Su Ziyan looked at Ye Yuan. At this time, Ye Yuan's face was not very good. Su Ziyan immediately pointed at Ye Yuan's nose and scolded, listen to my advice, you have achieved success and fame. You are 30 years old, you should find a suitable person, get married and have children, and stop fooling around outside and deceiving ignorant girls. When your body is damaged one day, you will regret it. Chapter 9, First Loves Fight Each Other, Jealousy. Oh! Ye Yuan sneered. A good match. If it weren't for the system, wouldn't Ye Yuan still be a poor boy? It turns out that rich people think differently. That's what Su Ziyan's mother did back then. She even gave me 5 million and asked me to leave her. What are you talking about? Wasn't what I said wrong? Girls nowadays are really like that. If my daughter dares to date someone who is more than 10 years older than her, I will break her legs on the spot. And that bastard who cheated on my daughter, I'll break his third leg. Su Ziyan became more and more excited as she spoke, and she even started making gestures with her hands. Su Ziyan? That's enough. Please pay attention to the occasion. This is a class reunion, not a place for you and me to quarrel. I didn't expect that after 10 years, you are still like this. Fortunately, I listened to your mother and broke up with you, otherwise I would have no way to live like this. Ye Yuan stood up and glared at Su Ziyan fiercely. Ye Yuan, what do you mean? You are actually glad to break up with me? What's wrong with me, Su Ziyan? Do you know how many people dream of marrying me? In your eyes, I am so unbearable. Su Ziyan was furious. She stood up and looked directly at Ye Yuan. She was so angry that she gasped for breath and her chest heaved up and down. Ye Yuan, I really don't want to argue with you. I suspect that you have your period, or you have entered menopause early. What the hell, what's going on? Suddenly, a classmate who had just gone to the toilet came back and was shocked by the scene. The other students gave him mad looks, but he was smart enough to understand immediately. He shut his mouth, shrunk his neck and hid in a corner to watch the show. The old classmates were nervous. Ye Yuan and Su Ziyang's words were harsher than the last, and their voices were getting louder and louder. If things go wrong, a fight might really break out. Many old classmates have already agreed that if the two start fighting, they will pull them apart. Ye Yuan and Su Ziyan stood face to face, staring at each other with the most ferocious eyes. Su Ziyan cursed Ye Yuan in her heart. Scumbag. Neptune. Irresponsible. No responsibility. If you are not married by 30, you are not a serious person. He cheated on a girl's feelings. Can you please arrest him and put him in jail? Really, I wasn't he this kind of person before. It's true that men will become bad when they have money, not to mention that Ye Yuan is so rich now. He cursed in his heart and imagined how to beat Ye Yuan up in his mind. This was the second time in Su Ziyang's life that she felt so agitated and angry. The first time was when her mother had forced her to go abroad. And because of her many years abroad, she is known as the Chinese investment queen. A superwoman like her would not feel nervous or excited when facing big bosses with assets worth tens of billions of dollars. It can be said that she has always been calm and composed. Until I met Ye Yuan again. After meeting that bastard Ye Yuan and hearing all the things he did, I really couldn't suppress my emotions. Especially when she heard that Ye Yuan's current girlfriend was 12 years younger than him, she really wanted to rush up and beat Ye Yuan up. Look at Ye Yuan again. In fact, the emotions and thoughts are similar. Damn it. It's been 10 years, and you still have the temper of a princess. It's so stinky. What does it mean to coerce and bribe a little girl? What does it mean to be indecent? What does it mean to deceive a little girl's feelings? And you told me to be careful not to hurt myself. I DNMD. I have a good body. The system is possessed, and it can't be damaged even if it wants to. Damn it, immortal, I'll fuck you. Have I ever deceived a little girl's feelings? I am truly in a serious relationship, and heaven and earth can testify to that. Moreover, ever since the breakup, I have been single for 10 years and have never found a girlfriend. How come Su Ziyan said that I was not serious and was fooling around outside every day? The more I think about it, the angrier I get. Damn, you already have a daughter, and she still goes to school. You have a daughter but no man, and I didn't say a word to you. What's wrong with me finding a girlfriend who is 12 years younger than me? Crunch, crunch. The two even gnashed their teeth. Ye Yuan, why are you staring at me? Have you never seen a handsome guy? Su Ziyan, I'm just looking at you, what's wrong with you? You want a beautiful lady like me to look at you, don't you think you'll lose a piece of meat? Ye Yuan, no, I can't stand your gaze. I'm already a 30-year-old woman. The more I look at you, the more I think my baby is really pretty. Su Ziyan, TSK, no matter how pretty your baby is, it's not as good as my baby daughter. Ye Yuan, what does your daughter's well-being have to do with me? Do you really think I'm a Lolita lover? A pervert? Su Ziyan, you know shit. My daughter is 18 years old. Her suitors can line up all the way from the United States to Kyushu. 18 years old. Suddenly, their whole audience was stunned. Su Ziyang is only 30, how come her daughter is 18? This is unreasonable. Ye Yuan was also stunned for a moment, then raised his eyebrows and said mockingly, "You are so good, you got pregnant just after you finished puberty, and you are already 18 years old. I was wondering why I drank too much with you that year and didn't remember anything after waking up. You still want me to be responsible. If I hadn't broken up with you, wouldn't I be a father now?" Su Ziyan, Ye Yuan. Shut up. I adopted my daughter because I felt lonely after I came to the United States. Who do you think I am, Su Ziyan? Ye Yuan, then who do you think Ye Yuan, Su Ziyan, scumbag. Ye Yuan, scumbag. Su Ziyan, asshole. Ye Yuan, I'm 30 years old and still an old woman who has not been loved by a man. Su Ziyan, you. Who's that? Fuck. Beauty. Look, it's a big beauty. Just at this moment, a beautiful figure appeared at the door of the box. A beautiful woman, about 170 centimeters tall, wearing a small t-shirt, with a hot body and fair skin, walked in. Her t-shirt was tied at her waist, exposing her mermaid line and sexy belly button to the air, which was particularly sexy. Especially the pair of beautiful long, thin and white legs under the ultra-short jeans really attracts people's attention. This woman is so dazzling that people can't help but stare at her. With this figure, she is definitely a top beauty. Sure enough, after everyone saw his appearance clearly, they all rubbed their eyes and stared at him. Her facial features are delicate and three-dimensional, and her light makeup makes her look particularly pure and beautiful. He looks like he is less than 20 years old and probably hasn't even started college yet. It can be said that no matter which school this girl is placed in, she will definitely be the #1 school beauty goddess. Especially the neatly tied ponytail, which swung as she walked, full of youthful vitality. When people see it, they can recall their first love in school days. Oh no! It is the school beauty goddess that everyone admires. It can be said that this woman is extremely beautiful. If she were a bad woman, she would definitely bring disaster to the country and the people. Moreover, her flawless skin and hot body were the envy of all the female classmates present. It is what they dream of and want. This is the advantage of being young. Chapter 10. Dear Baby, Mom. The girl at the door was born with good looks. She could easily overwhelm everyone with just some dressing up and makeup. As for Ziyan, that's different. The two have different styles, and Ziyan is already 30 years old. Fuck. How can there be such a beautiful woman? I wonder who would be prettier if the school beauty Sue had put on makeup. Wait, a young girl? Ye Yuan's girlfriend? No way. You know what, I think that's right. Mr. Yi is worth 1 billion now, so he can find such a beautiful girlfriend. Hiss. Mr. Yi is awesome, Mr. Yi is mighty, I want to learn from Mr. Yi. Just think about it, if you had 1/10 of Mr. Yi's financial resources, you could choose any beauty you wanted. Damn it, we are all human beings, why is there such a big difference between us? When can I be as good as Mr. Yi? The male classmates were envious and jealous, and many of them admired Ye Yuan very much. The female classmates' eyes were filled with nothing but envy, great envy and extreme envy. Oh yes, and lots of jealousy. They were still feeling depressed because they had tried their best to seduce Ye Yuan, but he didn't respond. Now it seems that they were killed instantly in front of Ye Yuan's girlfriend without leaving any trace. Everyone's words fell into Su Mui's ears one by one, and she felt very proud. The original purpose of coming here was to support my boyfriend Ye Yuan. Now that he has just come in and has caused such a sensation, it seems that the purpose has been achieved. The effect is so good, I wonder how Ye Yuan and others will praise themselves and how they will reward themselves. She could have arrived earlier. Firstly, the hairdresser was very sloppy and took a long time to do her hair, and secondly, her mother did not wait for her, saying that she had a party, and left as soon as the hairdresser was done. In addition, the taxi driver rear-ended someone on the way here, and it took a long time to deal with the situation, so she arrived so late. This journey has been extremely bumpy. Snort. Even if it's going to rain or my mother is going to get married, it can't stop me from supporting my boyfriend. Very good. Since all your attention is on me, watch me find Ye Yuan and kiss him in front of you. Hee, it's exciting just thinking about it. Thinking of this, Su Mui immediately looked among the crowd, looking for Ye Yuan, the most handsome guy in the audience. Found it. Hey. How is he standing? Why is there a woman standing next to him? What are they doing? Why are you so murderous? Are you going to fight? Good man, if any bad woman dares to attack my man, I will beat you to death. Even though this woman has an amazing aura, Su Mui is not afraid at all. From childhood to adulthood, she and her mother have been to all kinds of places. What kind of awesome people have she not seen? She just didn't believe that Ye Yuan's high school classmate could be that powerful. At that moment, Su Mui rushed over with a fierce momentum. Look at Ye Yuan and Su Ziyan again. The two of them only had each other in their sight at this point, and they were both furious. Especially when I think about the fact that they were each other's first love, I get even more angry. The two men had intimidating eyes and a terrifying aura, and no one dared to approach them within 5 meters. Oh no, Su Mui is here now. But as soon as she walked up to the two of them, she froze. Just now at the door, Ye Yuan blocked Su Ziyan's face. Now that she was close to him, she realized. This woman with such an amazing aura turned out to be her own mother. My special hair? At. Feeling someone approaching, Ye Yuan and Su Ziyan glared at each other and then looked away. Seeing the newcomer, Ye Yuan was overjoyed, but Su Ziyan looked puzzled. But the next second, they both spoke at the same time. Ye Yuan, baby, you're finally here. Ziyan, baby, how did you find this place? Sumui. I. What do I do? Apparently, my precious boyfriend and my mother don't get along. Ahem, mom, dear, you two are classmates. Sumui smiled awkwardly. She felt like something big was going to happen. What? Dear. What? Mom. Fuck. Big talk. Super big melon. Poof. Cough, 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 cough. Their whole audience was stunned and boiling with excitement. Someone who had just been drinking water almost choked to death. Suddenly, the gossip spirit in everyone's body was burning, and they all lowered their voices and whispered to each other. The way these three address each other says it all. In their minds, at this moment, not only are there thousands of troops galloping, but also tens of thousands of alpacas are racing against Walmart. What the hell, even novels wouldn't dare to write like this, right? Honey? Mother? Baby? First love. Ye Yuan and Ziyan were already in high spirits and could have started fighting at any time. Regarding Sumui's sudden appearance, there was one surprise and the other confusion. But after calling each other, now they were all dumbfounded, and their brains were buzzing. Baby, baby, you call her mom? Ye Yuan swallowed hard and looked at Ziyan in surprise. I'm playing with your mother? No way. What a bummer. My girlfriend is the daughter of my first love. MD. Isn't this the most outrageous thing in the world? This kind of ridiculous plot actually happened to me? Is this just bad luck, that I got something from my first love, or is this just bad luck, is God playing a trick on me? I'm fucking torn. Classmates meeting parents? Isn't this the end? With my first love being petty and hateful, this marriage. Baby, who are you calling honey? Ziyan was about to cry with anxiety, and her pretty face was full of bitterness. Although she knew that her daughter was in love, she could never have imagined that her daughter's boyfriend was her damn first love. Of course it's Ye Yuan. Sumui subconsciously moved closer to Ye Yuan, pressing her body tightly against him. Seeing her mother so angry, there was even a hint of grievance on her face. And her action undoubtedly added fuel to the fire for Ziyan. Seeing her daughter clinging to Ye Yuan tightly, and thinking of her daughter's happy look every day, countless imaginary scenes flashed through her mind. Blood pressure is rising. Dizziness. If I had high blood pressure or heart disease, I would definitely be taken away on the spot. Even a super strong woman like her in the business world, with a strong mental quality, couldn't breathe at this moment. You guys, I'm going crazy. You are my first love. You are my daughter, you guys. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Daughter, why don't you find someone else? Why find this damn guy? Ye Yuan, why would you pick on anyone else but my family? You bastard. Brute. Beast. How could you do this? Why didn't you come after me? Why did you attack my daughter? You are my first love, you are my daughter's first love, and I'm going to kill you. Woo 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 woo. No, I can't cry. Ziyan tried hard to hold back the tears in her eyes and held her breath tightly. Her defenses were broken, completely broken. Chapter 11. I won't let you go. First love. Buzz buzz buzz. Sumui's mind went blank, as if struck by a bolt from the blue. This is Ye Yuan, the first love that my mother always talks about. No way, Ye Yuan. Flames were about to burst out of Ziyan's eyes. Wait. Ye Yuan's brain shook violently, and he seemed to have discovered some blind spot in his knowledge. He subconsciously took 2 steps back, looked at Sumui beside him, and asked, Baby, your name is Sumui, your mother's name is Ziyan, you both have the surname Su, where is your father? Is the Su family looking for a son-in-law? Or is she not your mother at all? It is indeed a blind spot in knowledge. Sumui was 18 years old and Ziyan was 30 years old. It was impossible that Ziyan gave birth to her when she was 12, right? This goes against common sense. Therefore, Ye Yuan can be sure that Ziyan is definitely not Sumui's mother. Mom is my mom, and I don't have a dad. To be precise, I was an orphan before my mom adopted me. Sumui answered obediently. Call. Ye Yuan breathed a sigh of relief. Since she was adopted, that's fine. I must protect this love. No matter how aggressive Su Ziyan becomes, Ye Yuan will stay with Su Mui until the end. Su Ziyan tried her best to stay calm. She took a deep breath and asked, I just have one question now. How far have you guys gone? Su Mui lowered his head and dared not answer. Ye Yuan sneered and asked, didn't we date for 3 years in high school? Mu Yi and I have been dating for 3 months now. How far do you think we have come? Hearing this, Su Ziyan's face darkened. She remembered very clearly that when that bastard Ye Yuan had only been dating her for 2 months, he took her first blood. The woman has been dating him for 3 months now. No. Don't think about it anymore. I'll cry if I think about it again. Ye Yuan. After pondering for a long time, Su Ziyan opened her bag, took out a check and wrote quickly. I'll give you 50 million, just leave my daughter. Although your company is worth 1 billion now, you don't have much liquidity, so you understand how much help this 50 million will be to you. I only ask you to leave my daughter. The tone became heavier and their voice became louder, and in the end, Su Ziyan almost shouted. When a check for 50 million was handed over, all the old classmates in the audience couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Is this money so easy to make? Ha 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 ha. Unexpectedly, Ye Yuan burst into laughter, and looked as if he was possessed by a demon. Su Ziyan, your tone and lines now are exactly the same as your mother's back then. Money, Ye Yuan, have plenty of ways to make it. I didn't want to delay you back then, but Ye Yuan, am also a man of integrity, so I didn't take the 5 million from your mother and chose to let it go. 50 million is indeed very useful to me now, but I don't need it. My company can make 1 billion in half a year. As long as I want, it will soon become bigger, and even go public. The current scene is somewhat similar to that of the past. I am still myself, but I am no longer the same person I used to be. So, give me half a year and I will give you 500 million yuan. Hand your daughter over to me. I am sincere to her. Shut up. Don't say any more. Su Ziyan roared. What happened back then has always been a pain in her heart, and she really doesn't want to break up. Ye Yuan doesn't understand how powerful her Su family is. Su Ziyan never thought that she would become like her mother and one day she would use money to make people leave her daughter. Moreover, that person was Ye Yuan. Su Ziyang, no matter what, I will not give up Mu Yi. Ye Yuan said seriously. Su Mui quickly said, Mom, I won't give up Ye Yuan either. Shut up. I told you to shut up. Su Ziyang was about to collapse. She couldn't hold it in anymore and the tears in her eyes were about to burst out. Su Ziyan gritted her teeth and grabbed Su Mui's hand. Come home with me. Mom. I don't want it. I want to be with Ye Yuan. Su Mui refused. If you refuse to come with me when I count to 3, I will send you back to the United States immediately. 1. 2. Mom, Ye Yuan, Su Mui looked at Ye Yuan aggrievedly. It's okay, go back with your mother. Ye Yuan touched her head. Su Ziyang is angry now, and Ye Yuan knows Su Mui's temper very well. If she says she will send it, she will definitely send it. Therefore, the safest thing to do right now is to let Su Mui go home with her while she thinks carefully about the next plan. 3. Su Ziyang pulled hard, and Su Mui let go of her hand and followed her mother helplessly. To be honest, she was also very panicked. This adoptive mother has been very good to me since I was a child and has never lost her temper with me. Be gentle to yourself no matter when and where you are. Today was the first time she saw her mother lose her temper. My mother has seen all kinds of scenes and met all kinds of people, and she is always calm no matter what the situation. Seeing what she has become today, it is obvious that she has been really stimulated. Ye Yuan, just wait for me. I won't let you go. Don't even think about touching my daughter. Su Ziyang made some harsh remarks and took her daughter away without even looking back. Why? Ye Yuan sighed and sat down. The students present were immediately blown away. This is too exciting. They would never have thought that they would actually encounter such a bloody scene in their lifetime. Old Yi, I support you, and I believe you can do it. Come, have a cigarette to calm your nerves. The guy who used to share a bunk bed with Ye Yuan handed him a cigarette. Ye Yuan looked up at him, smiled weakly, took the cigarette, and the old classmate quickly lit it for him. Picking up the cigarette, Ye Yuan took a deep puff and exhaled slowly. He didn't expect that after quitting smoking for many years, he would eventually start smoking again. Alas, this is life. Is having money useful? The girlfriend you find can be the daughter of your first love. Classmates, I'm sorry to have embarrassed you. This villa is mine. You can have fun and eat as much as you want. The expenses are all on me. I have something else to do, so I'll take my leave now. Standing up, Ye Yuan walked away somewhat unsteadily. He really couldn't stay here anymore, he just wanted to have some peace and quiet. What happened today really stunned me. He never dreamed that his girlfriend's mother was his first love. Bump! Ye Yuan gently closed the door of the box and left. There was silence in the box for a long time. After they confirmed that Ye Yuan had gone far away, everyone finally couldn't help but started talking loudly. Chapter 12, Runaway Ziyan. Fuck. That's too violent. If I were the person involved, I would probably be lying in the hospital for emergency treatment now. Yeah, it's so exciting that we can even see this kind of plot. Har 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 har, Ye Yuan is really a role model for our generation. At a class reunion after 10 years, he found out that his girlfriend's mother was his first love. Can't you see that the campus beauty of Soochow University obviously still has deep feelings for Ye Yuan? I think what he can't stand the most is that his daughter is in love with Ye Yuan. Yes. I think so too. Maybe she returned to China just to rekindle her relationship with Ye Yuan. It's just fate. I feel like Ziyan is about to cry. It's not easy for her either. She feels lonely abroad and even adopted a daughter, but ended up helping her ex-boyfriend raise his girlfriend. Har 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 har. My daughter is adopted. It seems that Ziyan has been single for the past 10 years she has been abroad. From what they said just now, I understand that it was Ziyan's mother who broke up with Ye Yuan. So, I believe that Ziyan still likes Ye Yuan. Yes. It's almost certain. What you said seems to be consistent with Ziyan's previous actions. If it were me, I would probably break down and copy the version to kill Ye Yuan on the spot. I've been waiting for you for 10 years, and you're dating my daughter. Har 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 har. The students have such a rich imagination. Domineering CEO Ye Yuan falls in love with the daughter of his first love, domineering CEO. Har har har. Come on, let's bet on whether Ye Yuan and his girlfriend will break up. I bet 100 that Ziyan will definitely not let them be together, so they must be separated. Do you dare to bet a little more? I bet that Ye Yuan and Ziyan will be together in the end. The odds are 10 to 1. Do you dare? Why not? I'll bet on both mother and daughter, and the odds are 100 each. TSK, where do you think we are? It's illegal in our great Kyushu to do this. Didn't Johnson tell you? If you marry one and then marry another, it's against the law, it's bigamy, but marrying two together is fine. Har ha har ha, alright. Ye Yuan has already said that everyone can eat as much as they want and then play around in the villa. He'll take care of it. You know what, this villa is so magnificent. I'll live here for 3 to 5 years and let Ye Yuan support me, har ha har har. Many veteran SPS present discovered a very important point. That is, Ye Yuan and Ziyan are in such a mess now, no matter what, it is impossible for them to reconcile. Moreover, Ye Yuan and his girlfriend will definitely break up. Even if they didn't break up, they couldn't be together because of Ziyan's obstacle. So, just wait it out for a while, and then you can take advantage of the opportunity to swoop in. Whether it's Ziyan or Sumui, if they get one of them, they will take off on the spot. If you have a mother, you won't have to struggle in your life. I have a daughter and the breakup fee is 50 million. I still don't have to struggle and I'm very happy. At this time, in the parking lot of Wangyuan Villa. In an Aston Martin, Ziyan stepped on the accelerator, and the car sped out of Wangyuan Villa with the roar of the engine. Sumui sat in the passenger seat like a child who had committed a crime, looking aggrieved and not daring to say a word. Finally, Ziyan couldn't hold back any more and tears filled her eyes. My heart is filled with sadness, chill, anger, grievance, sourness, and the taste of whole grains. Looking at her mother who was crying, Sumui asked worriedly, "Mom, are you okay?" "I'm fine." Ziyan wiped away the tears from the corners of her eyes with her jade hands and said resolutely, "I always keep my word. Just now I did say 3 times before you let go, so I will arrange for you to return to the United States tomorrow, and you don't have to stay in Juzhou." Why, Mom, you can't do this to me. Su Mui became anxious. Doesn't this mean she's going to die? Su Ziyan, if you want to stay in Zhuzhou, that's fine, as long as you promise me to break up with Ye Yuan and never see him again. No. I don't want it. Su Mui shook his head repeatedly. She still felt that the matter was not that serious. At most, her mother would be angry and jealous. As long as she was obedient and coaxed her when necessary, her mother would be fine. But now it seems that my mother's condition is much more serious than I thought. I don't care whether you want to or not. After you go back, delete all contact information of Ye Yuan in front of me. From a few days on, there will be no Ye Yuan in your world. Otherwise. After all, Ye Yuan's company has only been established for half a year. You know the power of your mother. Don't force me. Su Ziyan used the despicable means of threat. Mom. Ye Yuan is really a good person. Besides, young girls nowadays like older men. What's more, how does Ye Yuan look different from a 20-year-old young man? Just agree with us. Su Mui pleaded. It's not the age of the human body, but Ye Yuan. This person is walking. Su Ziyan was very determined. She stepped on the accelerator to the bottom while complaining, Ye Yuan and I have been dating for 3 years. Do you understand 3 years? He is a hateful person. He only knows how to use sweet words all day long. What he said is bullshit. He just uses it on young girls who are not experienced in the world. He is a scumbag. Aquaman. Beast. Bastard. Beast. Asshole. The sound grew louder and louder, almost overwhelming the engine. Sumu was also very unconvinced and didn't want to compromise, but she didn't dare to say anything. She knew her mother's temper. If she talked back or said something inappropriate at this time, she would be in trouble. After 3 months of contact with him, she already knew exactly what kind of person Ye Yuan was. There is no other treasure man like this in the world. Don't be too nice to Ye Yuan. Anyway, I will not marry anyone else in this life. I will try to calm my mother down first. If that doesn't work, then I will be willful and elope with Ye Yuan. Seeing that her daughter stopped talking, Su Ziyan thought she had figured it out, but after looking at her, her mentality broke again. Damn it, Ye Yuan, what kind of medicine did you give my daughter? Why is he so obsessed with you? You bastard. Brute. Beast. Son of a bitch. You are my first love, and also my daughter's first love. You are so cruel. Despicable, shameless, and obscene. Ye Yuan, you are not a human. If you dare to appear in front of me again, I will step on the accelerator and hit you to death. What is my daughter doing? Su Ziyan slammed on the brakes and looked at her daughter fiercely. If you are still contacting Ye Yuan, delete him. Now, immediately, right now. Arth, Mom, please don't scare me. You stepped on the brakes and my head felt dizzy. Su Mui quickly pressed the send button, then quickly clicked on Ye Yuan's profile picture, looked at her mother, and asked tentatively, can I not delete it? Yes, we can sever the mother-daughter relationship. Chapter 13, Mother and Daughter's Thoughts. Well. Su Mui sighed and deleted Ye Yuan. Su Ziyan, all other social apps, including contact numbers, have been blocked. Okay, I got it. Su Mui was so upset that she wanted to cry but had no tears. She deleted Ye Yuan in front of her mother with a wronged look on her face. Su Ziyan then slowed down the car and headed towards the newly bought villa to pick up the things. Su Mui kept complaining in his heart. Really? Is it really that necessary? After all, I am still your daughter, even though I am adopted. Even if Ye Yuan is your first love, you can't stop me from dating him. This is an era that advocates freedom of love. In the world, are there few couples with a big age gap? And before coming to Kyushu, I agreed to find a boyfriend. Now I have one, but I didn't expect it to be. Alas, it's all tears if I talk too much. The more he thought about it, the more upset he became. Su Mui secretly turned his head and looked at his mother. Su Ziyan's face was very pale, and tears were still dripping from her eyes, but she let the tears fall from her eyes and drip onto her arms. Even the hands holding the steering wheel were shaking slightly. Today was a huge blow to her. She never thought that something like this would happen. Yes, she still had Ye Yuan in her heart. This time she came back to attend the class reunion, she originally wanted to meet Ye Yuan alone after the reunion, apologize to him, and want to get back together. Over the years, she has had many wealthy and powerful suitors abroad, but there is no room for others in her heart. Ye Yuan is also the belief that supports her in her struggle abroad. But now, the faith is shattered. This damn Ye Yuan actually attacked his own daughter. I will never let him succeed. On the top floor of Wang Yuan Villa, Ye Yuan was lying on the floor, looking up at the bustling starry sky outside the panoramic skylight. He felt complicated. Before the system came into being, he lived in a daze. Of course, he doesn't want it to be like this, but this is the reality and this is how society is. No matter how talented he is, he always has to start from the grassroots level. However, because he is too outstanding, his talents have not yet been discovered by the higher-ups, and he is often fired by his superiors who feel that their status is threatened. For the past 9 years, I have been going around in circles, stumbling over things, and achieving nothing. Later, the emergence of the system taught him how to gain a foothold in this society and become a superior person. Before meeting Sumui, Ye Yuan was only interested in making money. His goal was clear: to become successful and famous, and to crush the Su family in terms of power and financial resources. At that time, he will humiliate Su Ziyang's mother, and at the same time, ask Su Ziyang what she was thinking back then. But after meeting Sumui, this goal disappeared, and these thoughts disappeared without a trace. He thought his true love had come and just wanted to spend a good life with Sumui. I never thought. She turned out to be Su Ziyan's daughter. Alas, reality is such a joke. Even though he was adopted by Su Ziyan, he still felt bad. Ding dong. A VX voice rang out, and Ye Yuan took out his cell phone. It was a message from Sumui. Honey, my mom wants me to delete you, Shezes. With just one glance, Ye Yuan knew what was going on. It was estimated that Su Ziyang was watching Sumui right next to him, so Sumui sent the message immediately before he finished writing it. Ye Yuan casually responded with an expression. Please add the other party as a friend first. Big red exclamation mark. Su Ziyan, you are so cruel. Although there were many ways to contact Sumui, Ye Yuan didn't try them. Because he knew that Su Ziyang would not let go of any of them. Call. Letting out a long sigh, Ye Yuan began to breathe deeply. Gradually, he calmed down. The alcohol had not numbed his brain. The ideas gradually became clear. From the very beginning, Su Ziyang had a fight with me because she still had me in her heart and couldn't let me go. Everything that happened during the meal was a manifestation of her jealousy, exactly the same as when she was in high school. At the beginning, Su Ziyang only launched a few prophetic attacks. But when she found out that Ye Yuan's girlfriend was young and beautiful, she couldn't hold it anymore. It was as if his mouth was filled with gunpowder and bullets, spurting out crackling sounds. And at the beginning, she said that she had not had any contact with men in these years abroad and had been single. But why have I been single for 10 years? In Ye Yuan's opinion, Su Ziyan's charm would surely captivate even foreigners. Therefore, it is impossible for Su Ziyang to lack suitors. What is the reason why she is still single? Is it because you adopted a daughter that you don't have any thoughts? Impossible. To put it bluntly, I just can't let go of myself. After a heated exchange of words with me, Sumui came. When Su Ziyang found out that he was in love with her daughter, she was immediately devastated. However, any normal person would be shocked if they knew their child was dating an old classmate, right? No wonder Su Ziyang lost control and went berserk. If it were Ye Yuan, if his son was in love with Su Ziyan, Ye Yuan would probably break his son's legs on the spot without hesitation. Thinking of this, Ye Yuan felt much better. So, what I need to consider now is how to deal with the relationship between myself and my girlfriend. He would never agree to break up. If you want to have a secret affair, you must first find a way to contact your girlfriend. As for Su Ziyan, she can do whatever she wants, and Ye Yuan didn't do it on purpose. When he was dating Sumui, how could he know that Sumui's mother was her? So, no one is wrong. Now, we can only take one step at a time. After figuring it out, Ye Yuan stood up and went home. Xinguang Town, also known as the European town, has an elegant environment, convenient transportation and beautiful scenery. Inside a villa in the newly built luxury villa area in the town, Su Ziyang and Sumui were sitting on the sofa looking at each other. This mother and daughter look more like sisters. It's not that Sumui looks mature and old, It's just that Su Ziyang is too well taken care of and looks like Su Mui's sister. Give me the phone. Su Ziyan spread out her hands and said with a stern face. Oh. Su Mui gave him the phone. She didn't dare disobey, for fear that her mother would send her back to the United States. If that happened, it would be really difficult for her and Ye Yuan. Now I have to obey my mother first. Only in this way can there be a chance for me and Ye Yuan. Only with possibilities can there be a future. Su Ziyang flipped through the phone in her hand, checked all the software, and finally opened the address book and cleared all the call records before returning the phone to her daughter. Then I'll go upstairs and rest. Su Mui took the phone, stood up and walked upstairs. Stop! Su Ziyan shouted in a low voice, and said in a commanding tone, I'm going to go up too, to check if you have any other mobile phones, including your computer. You have to clean up everything that has contact with Ye Yuan. Mom! Why are you like this? Chapter 14 The Strongest Dark Horse in the Financial World. Su Mui was unhappy about this. Yes, she really did have another cell phone. Knowing her mother's intelligence, she was sure she would guess that she had memoized Ye Yuan's cell phone number a long time ago. Then, Mom would definitely monitor her phone. Fortunately, she still has another mobile phone, but now, it seems she can't escape from her mother's hands. Moreover, computers. Usually Su Mui would play games with Ye Yuan, which was also a way for them to keep in touch. It seems that there is no escape tonight. Half an hour later. Su Ziyan left her room only after she was sure that Su Mui had no way to contact Ye Yuan. At the same time, she used her connections to have someone interfere with Su Mui's cell phone number, preventing Su Mui from calling Ye Yuan and Ye Yuan from getting through to her. After doing all this, she returned to her room. Su Ziyan's room is very big and even comes with a huge bathroom. Fill a bathtub with water and lie in it. Ever since leaving the class reunion, she had been feeling dizzy and her brain felt like it was about to split. In addition, her eyes were sore from the whole night, so she closed her eyes to rest. Gradually, my mind became clearer, my heart was no longer so violent, and the fatigue in my body also dissipated a little. After taking a bath, Su Ziyan sat on the bed wrapped in a bath towel. While taking a bath, I thought about a lot of things, of course, all about Ye Yuan. Today, before going to the class reunion, Su Ziyan knew about Ye Yuan. Although Wang Yuan Group is very mysterious, Su Ziyan still discovered that this company was opened by Ye Yuan. To be precise, anyone who knows Ye Yuan can find out his identity if they are willing to investigate. She picked up the phone beside the bed, opened the browser, and searched for Wang Yuan Group. Wang Yuan Group Financial Investment Company, Limited. Legal representative, Ye Yuan. Registered capital, 1 million. Established, 6 months ago. Ye Yuan's name was clearly written on it. Ye Yuan has never shown his face in front of the media, so many people don't know who this Ye Yuan is. Su Ziyan is one of the most powerful women in the investment industry. Just by seeing these, she knew that this company belonged to her first love Ye Yuan. Look far, climb high and look far. With a registered capital of only 1 million, the company's market value reached 1 billion in just half a year. How outrageous. Maybe Ye Yuan was lucky, or maybe Ye Yuan really had this ability. Thinking of this, Su Ziyang immediately used her own means to retrieve some information about the Wang Yuan Group that was unknown to the outside world. In the first month of Wang Yuan Group's establishment, it had 12 employees and assets exceeding 10 million. The main income came from reselling and short-term investment projects. In the second month of Wang Yuan Group's establishment, it has 100 employees and assets exceeding 50 million. The main income comes from reselling, short-term investment projects, and buying small-scale land and selling it at high prices. Wang Yuan Group was established for the third month, with 300 employees. 6 months after Wang Yuan Group was established, the number of employees exceeded 10,000, and the main source of income is financial investment. Today, Wang Yuan Group's industries involve catering, entertainment, real estate. How did he do that? Su Ziyan is known as the investment queen in the United States. She knows that with a cost of $1 million, it is impossible to turn 1 million into $1 billion in half a year, unless one is extremely lucky. Although the information above is very clear, no one knows how Ye Yuan did it specifically. Reselling, selling at a low price, selling at a high price. Is it to make money from the time difference? But how does Ye Yuan know that he won't lose money? Su Ziyan had heard of the land mentioned above before. The president of Ye Yuan Group bought a piece of land. Only half a month later, the town government planned to build a school on this piece of land, so it was purchased from Ye Yuan Group at a high price. This money also made Ye Yuan Group the largest company in Xinguang town. Some of our things have attracted the attention of Kyushu's giant companies. We are called the first dark horse in Kyushu's financial circle and the strongest new financial investment company. Many giant companies are even keeping a close eye on the actions of the telecommunications group. Immediately afterwards, another document appeared in front of Su Ziyan. The above shows that since the establishment of Ye Yuan Group, there have been numerous purchase records in the stock market. Su Ziyan studied it carefully for a while, her face full of shock. Ye Yuan, when did you become so bold? What on earth has he been through in these 10 years? All the stock buying activities of Ye Yuan Group are actually operations of making a small profit with a big return. In recent years, the stock market has been sluggish, with most stocks falling. Not many have been able to remain stable, and even fewer have risen. But if Ye Yuan Group takes action, the stock price will definitely rise in the short term. The most important thing is that Ye Yuan Group always sells its shares in time when the stock value is at its peak. Each operation only takes a few days, and the profit rate is as high as 98%. What is the concept? In a stock market that even the stock god cannot understand, Ye Yuan is actually thriving. Alas, Ye Yuan, how great it would be if you hadn't been in love with my daughter. If my mother hadn't broken us up. Su Ziyan's face was full of melancholy. She sighed deeply and couldn't help shaking her head. Put the following words out of your mind. What are you thinking about? Don't let your imagination run wild. Thinking of her daughter, she fell into deep thought. My daughter has always listened to me since she was young, but this time, she dared to talk back and showed signs of being disobedient. This is not the way to go. Now that her daughter is here, she unilaterally cuts off the contact between her daughter and Ye Yuan. So, now there is only one problem, and that is Ye Yuan's aspect. After hesitating for a moment, Su Ziyan contacted someone else, and after getting Ye Yuan's cell phone number, she took a deep breath and called him. She would give Ye Yuan a good warning and tell him to give up this idea. She would never agree to anything between Ye Yuan and her daughter, never. Ye Yuan is here. Ye Yuan Pavilion, a villa area developed by Ye Yuan Group. Ye Yuan returned home, took a cold shower to keep himself calm and sober, and then went into his own special stock trading room. On the surface, he only opened one company, Ye Yuan Company, which only traded stocks in the domestic stock market. But in fact, Ye Yuan himself has also been involved in foreign stock markets. As long as there is a rich country with abundant funds, Ye Yuan's shadow can be seen. He is very rational and will not get drunk all night because of what happened today. Looking at the densely packed screens in the room and the stock market ticking on them, Ye Yuan's brain began to work frantically. Knock, knock, knock. Just when Ye Yuan was concentrating, his cell phone rang. It's an unfamiliar number. Did my unreliable secretary change his phone number again? Ye Yuan didn't think much and answered the phone. After all, only a very few people know his phone number. The relationship between him and Su Ziyan was so strained that he didn't believe that Su Ziyan would write down his number from Su Mui's phone and call him. Chapter 15. Su Ziyan, you are exactly like your mother. It's me. Su Ziyan's voice came from the other end of the phone. Ye Yuan was slightly stunned. He didn't expect that it was really Su Ziyan. Is there something wrong? Ye Yuan asked coldly. Mu Yi has deleted all the ways to contact you. From now on, she will not see you. I also hope that you will never disturb my daughter again. It's impossible for you to do that. Please forget about my daughter. Su Ziyan said this without any emotion. To be precise, it sounded more like an order. Ye Yuan felt very uncomfortable after hearing this. His mind involuntarily recalled the scene when he and Su Ziyan had been in love for a short time and were caught by the class teacher and the parents were asked to be called in. At that time, Su Ziyan's mother's tone was exactly the same as Su Ziyan's tone now. It is true that people from the same family stick together. At the party just now, Su Ziyang's action of asking him to leave her daughter was exactly the same as Su Ziyang's mother's. This made Ye Yuan even more unhappy. I accepted my failure in the past, but now that I am so successful, I just happened to meet you. Without even thinking, Ye Yuan blurted out, first, I don't owe you anything. Second, the matter between Mu Yi and me is between her and me. Please don't talk to me in this tone. It's exactly the same tone as your mother used to use back then. Ziyan. The two were silent for a long time, and finally Ziyan broke the silence. Ye Yuan, the past is the past, and the present is the present. Can you please stop bringing up the past? No matter what, I will not agree with what you and my daughter are doing. Please give up on this idea. As she spoke, her tone became heavier and she threatened, if you dare to pester my daughter again, I will not let you go. I hope you can understand that even if you are worth 1 billion now, it will be easy for me to deal with you. Fuck it. This woman actually dares to threaten me. This is what Ye Yuan hates the most. This tone sounds like he looks down on me. What do you mean even if I'm worth 10 billion, it would be easy for her to deal with me? Don't you treat me as a human being? Things change over time. No matter how powerful your Su family is, it will eventually fall. No matter how successful you, Ziyan, are in the financial investment circle, Ye Yuan, will surpass you sooner or later. Call. With a sigh of relief, Ye Yuan tried to keep himself calm and asked, yes, you are right. The past is the past and the present is the present. So, how does my relationship with your daughter bother you? No matter what, you can't date my daughter. Ziyan almost shouted this sentence. Ye Yuan sneered, don't think I don't know, Mu Yi would never delete me, you forced her to do it. Ziyan, so what? She is still young and doesn't understand anything. Besides, she is in the most critical senior year of high school now and has no time for a relationship. Har ha har ha. Ye Shen laughed, what a joke. You don't have time to fall in love. It's as if you can't study if you fall in love. Ziyan, why are you so hypocritical? When you were pursuing me, you stopped studying. When we were dating, did you fall behind in your studies? I still went to Yangjing University, and you were recommended to the US University of Finance and Investment, weren't you? Ye Yuan was really angry and amused. It's unreasonable. Ziyan was furious. She even regretted saying this. Oh no, she regretted calling Ye Yuan. It was so annoying. Ye Yuan was very good at talking and was very difficult to deal with. No matter what he said, he would always have something to say back. So angry. Bastard Ye Yuan. Bastard Ye Yuan. Beast Ye Yuan. Son of a bitch. Crunch, crunch. Ziyang's defense was completely broken today. She even felt that it was a mistake to bring her daughter back home. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame yourself. If she hadn't had thoughts about Ye Yuan, she wouldn't have returned to China, let alone brought her daughter back. Damn, who would have known that after returning, my daughter was kidnapped by Ye Yuan? It's really abominable. The more she thought about it, the angrier she got. Ziyang's pretty cheeks turned red with anger, and you could faintly see the slightly protruding blue veins. She was so angry that she couldn't help scratching the phone with her nails, making a harsh sound. Hearing this sharp and ear-piercing voice, Ye Yuan couldn't help but shudder and said impatiently, anything else? If not, I'll hang up. Ye Yuan. Ziyan took a deep breath and yelled, you bastard, I'm warning you for the last time, don't mention the past to me. I must be blind to fall for you. Oh, you are indeed blind, otherwise why would you not agree with Mu Yi and I being together? Ye Yuan retorted. Shut up. Ziyan's voice broke, and she yelled again, just remember, you and my daughter can't be together. Please, now, immediately, forget about my daughter, and never contact her or get close to her again. Ye Yuan, oh, okay, then I'll tell you, I can't do it. Even if you are her mother, you have no right to make me listen to you. Even if you take me to court, you can't make me listen to you. Oh. Bang bang. Ziyan on the other end of the conversation was going crazy and kept venting her anger on the pillow. After venting for half a minute, she gasped for breath and said again in a threatening tone, Ye Yuan, my influence in China is far greater than you think, and I am now the president of Ever Investment Zhuzhou District. I think you should know what position Ever Investment holds in the financial investment circle. I think your small company, which has only been established for half a year, cannot withstand my anger. Moreover, if I tell my mother about this, I believe she will be happy to take action against you. The strength of the Su family is beyond your imagination. Take care of yourself. Beep, beep. The call was hung up directly. IDNMD. Ye Yuan was filled with rage, and he raised his hand and threw the phone to the ground. Shit! I'm so angry. When the phone was about to fall from his hand, Ye Yuan regained his senses in time and stopped his idiotic and wasteful behavior. No matter what, the phone hasn't caused any trouble to you, so you can't hurt it. Thinking back to Su Ziyang's words, the more I thought about it, the more the fire in my heart started to burn. Yes, your Su family is powerful, and you, Su Ziyan, are powerful. You, Su Ziyan, have become more capable and have learned how to threaten people. But who are you looking down on? What do you mean my small company which has just started for half a year can't bear your anger? Isn't he the president of Eva Investment Kyushu District? After all, you are working for others, so what's so great about that? If he was the president of Eva Investment Headquarters, I would accept him, but what can a mere president of Juzhou District do to me? This is in Juzhou. How dare you, a foreign company, lay a grudge against my local company? Let's see how you will survive in the future. After all, Ye Yuan's Wang Yuan Group is the most promising investment company. Now many big shots are watching it, so he is not afraid at all. The last sentence is even more amazing. What does it mean to tell your mother that she would love to have a go at me? Chapter 16. What we need is backbone. What about the Su family's strength? It's not something I can imagine. In Juzhou, can your Su family still cover the sky with one hand? Or is it amazing to have a mother bullying me, Ye Yuan, because I was an orphan since childhood, without anyone to rely on? I, Ye Yuan, really don't believe this. Who am I, Ye Yuan? The chosen one. If he were in a novel, he would definitely be the protagonist. With the system added to him, he would sooner or later suppress Eva Investment and bring down your Su family. In fact, Ye Yuan would have kept a low profile if he hadn't been afraid that the speed at which he made money and the speed at which his company rose were too scary. Otherwise, relying on the system, he could definitely make Wang Yuan Group a domestic giant company in half a year. But secretly, Ye Yuan was doing very well in foreign stock markets, and his own assets were about to reach hundreds of billions. Originally, at today's class reunion, Ye Yuan had been reminding himself in his heart not to take the initiative to provoke Su Ziyan. Just ignore it if you can. But he didn't expect Su Ziyang to start with sarcasm and ridicule, and he couldn't help but retort. This incident happened later. Now he is threatened by Su Ziyang again. Ye Yuan didn't buy it, and he couldn't stand Su Ziyan's provocation. No one likes to be oppressed. Men don't like being oppressed, especially by women. A real man is born between heaven and earth, he stands upright, a real man with a strong character. How can he be oppressed by a woman? Ye Yuan, you have a lot of backbone. Looking back to the past, Su Ziyan's mother, the mistress of the Su family, was one of the most influential people in the entire Juzhou. So domineering, so powerful, and so threatening many times. But Ye Yuan was a man of integrity, and he would not compromise no matter how he was threatened or tempted. As a poor boy with no parents and no one to rely on, he was able to give up the 5 million. If it weren't for the fact that her mother's words made sense and if he hadn't been soft-hearted and didn't want to delay Su Ziyan, Ye Yuan would not have compromised. Thinking about it now, it's really ridiculous that Su Ziyan would treat me like this 10 years later. So, it seems that the goal of revenge that I had put aside after meeting Su Mui has to be restarted. Su Ziyan's mother has always been a shadow in Ye Yuan's heart. Now Su Ziyan is exactly like her mother in every aspect, which makes Ye Yuan furious. Why learn something else instead of yours? You can be as strong as you want, the breeze blows across the hills, you can say whatever you want, I, Ye Yuan, can't remember. You don't let me contact Su Mui, but I insist on doing it. With this idea in mind, Ye Yuan took action. Although he knew that any avenues regarding mobile phones had been blocked by Su Ziyan, he still tried them all. First I made a call, then there was a busy tone, and this happened several times in a row. Then it was obvious that Su Ziyang had done something. Ye Yuan opened various social software and sent messages to Su Mui one by one. As expected, he was blocked from all of them. He opened a mobile game, found Su Mui's number, and sent a text message. Sorry, this user has violated the game terms and has been banned. Ye Yuan was like, oh my goodness, is there such a thing? Giving up on the phone, Ye Yuan turned on his computer and contacted Su Mui through games one by one. But unfortunately, either you don't have this ID or your account has been blocked. You're awesome, Su Ziyan. I underestimated you. You're even worse than your asshole mother. I really want to strangle you to death. Ye Yuan felt helpless, angry and amused at the same time. He didn't expect that Ziyan could be so ruthless. I just don't know if my beloved girlfriend Sumui has lost all hope in life now. This is really making him suffer. Ye Yuan knew Sumui's true feelings for him. After 3 months of contact, he also knew Sumui's personality. As long as she determined and wanted something, she would not give up no matter how difficult it was. Therefore, Ye Yuan was not worried. The most important thing now was to have a good rest, calm down, and sort out his thoughts. The relationship between him and Sumui will be a long-lasting tug-of-war full of difficulties and obstacles. Ding dong, you have a new warning, please check it out. Just then, a prompt sound rang on the computer. Ye Yuan was stunned. This voice belonged to Daobao. When he first got the system, he made his first pot of gold by reselling goods. The one used for reselling goods is Daobao. Of course, 2 months ago, Ye Yuan stopped doing this kind of business, but he never turned off the computer and dozens of screens at home. So Daobao's account was not cancelled. I remember that there was nothing in my online store. Why would someone send me text messages for no reason? Sitting back in front of the computer, Ye Yuan picked up the teacup beside him, took a sip, and quickly opened the Daobao page. Mumumuyai, dear, are you there? Har ha har ha. As expected of my girlfriend, she's really smart. Ye Yuan was immediately happy. During his relationship with Sumui, he only mentioned once how he made his first pot of gold, and he also only mentioned the name of his shop once. I didn't expect that this girl actually remembered it and contacted me in this way. Humph, as long as we are united in heart, what is there to be afraid of? Yes. I thought you really wanted to break up with me. You deleted my contact information so quickly. I was still drinking alone at home. Ye Yuan replied in a joking tone. Ding dong. Soon, Sumui sent another warning. Yi, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Baby is really aggrieved. Woo, you don't know my mother's state just now. It's terrible. Since I was adopted by her, I have never seen her so angry. Ye Yuan, so angry? That's not right. These few days are not her menstrual period. Yi, huh? Damn Ye Yuan, stinky Ye Yuan. You actually remember my mother's menstrual period so clearly, I'm going to be jealous. Humph. Ye Yuan, it's just a joke. You know me. You're the only one in my heart right now. He, I know, I don't want to delete yours, it's all because of my mother's pressure, dear. You must be very worried when you can't contact me, right? Ye Yuan, your mother forced you to do that. Yi, yeah, my mom forced me to do that. Ye Yuan, good scolding. Yi, oh, you are so bad, I like it so much. Ye Yuan, okay, tell me about your current situation at home and your future activities. Yi, I can't contact you with my cell phone. My cell phone that I kept secretly was found and taken away by my mother. As for my range of activities, well, she has already arranged it. She has their housekeeper pick me up from school every day and doesn't give me any free time. She also makes me stay at home on weekends and not walk around. If I don't listen to her, she will send me back to the United States. But I can't see you. It's really hard. Chapter 17 Sumui's Thoughts. Indeed, it is very uncomfortable for people in love not to be able to see each other. Although Ye Yuan had expected this, he did not expect that Su Ziyang would not give Sumui any free time at all. It seems that Su Ziyan is defending herself very strictly and doesn't leave any loopholes for herself to exploit. After thinking for a while, Ye Yuan replied, Baby, don't be anxious. After all, your mother and I are first lovers. If anyone knew about this at the class reunion today, they would be furious. Don't blame her. I also know your mother's temper. She calms down quickly. Wait for 2 or 3 days until you are satisfied, and then she will let you go out to play. Yi, oh, no one can figure out my mother's temper now. I'll tell you frankly. After so many years in the United States, with so many rich and powerful men pursuing her, why is she still single? Because she can't let you go. Since she was a child, she has been talking about her first love in front of me. Every time she mentioned you, you don't know how happy she laughed. And when she came back today, she was crying the whole time. It seems that my guess was correct, Ziyan couldn't let me go. But Ye Yuan didn't expect that Ziyan would mention her first love to Sumui, and even smiled happily. First love is beautiful, but it is just first love after all. What has passed is past. People go to high places and water flows to low places. Ye Yuan just wanted to seize the present moment. As for why Ziyan was crying, Ye Yuan didn't know. Was it because she still liked me, but found out that I was in love with her daughter, so she cried out of grievance or anger? Unknown. Ye Yuan, so what? You are the only one in my heart. Moo 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 yee, hee hee, I get it. I don't care what my mother's feelings are towards you. I want to grasp my own love. I won't give up. Ye Yuan, same. Moo 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 yai, dear, let's chat using Daobao from now on. But you can't send me messages when I'm not looking for you. I'm afraid my mother will keep an eye on me when I'm at home. I sent you a text message, which means it's safe. Then, the two of them chatted sweetly until late at night. Ye Yuan was still very pleased. At least, Sumui was not defeated by the difficulties of reality and chose to grasp her love. Originally, Ye Yuan had no idea what to do. He was afraid that Sumui would be jealous because she knew that he and her mother were first love, and would choose to withdraw because her mother could not let him go. Now it seems that I was worrying too much. Also, which bastard said Daobao is an online shopping software? Stand up for me. Isn't this a chat software? So, Ye Yuan logged into this Daobao account on his mobile phone, so that if Sumui contacted him in the future, he could reply anytime and anywhere. At this point, foreign stock markets also opened, and Ye Yuan started to trade stocks seriously. Ziyan is here. After she calmed herself down, she tossed and turned but couldn't fall asleep. After warning Ye Yuan, she felt something was wrong. Then she lingered at the door of her daughter's room for a long time, wanting to have a good talk with her daughter. But he never went in. First, the lights inside were off and her daughter might be asleep, so she didn't want to wake her up. Second, about what happened today, my daughter must be feeling very aggrieved, as her first love turned out to be her first love. Thirdly, she is also an experienced person and knows that girls of this age are very rebellious at heart, and sometimes saying too much will often have a counterproductive effect. Hao had educated Sumui well since she was young, so she listened to him very much. If it were another girl in her rebellious period, she would be so impulsive that she would sever the mother-daughter relationship to protect her love. Well. Still feeling depressed, Ziyan shook her head and went downstairs to open a bottle of red wine. After drinking it, she returned to her room drunkenly, lay on the bed, drowsy, and fell asleep unknowingly. That night, she had a dream. Of course, this dream is different from other dreams, it is full of youthful memories. From a god's perspective, she watched every detail of her high school days with Ye Yuan. What a wonderful time it was. Tears kept dripping from the corners of Ziyan's eyes as she slept. The next day, Sumui got up early and chatted with Ye Yuan until 7:30 before leaving the room to brush her teeth and wash up. After finishing, they went downstairs. The housekeeper had already prepared breakfast and was waiting for them in the car outside the door. Where's my mom? She's not awake yet, is she? Ziyan searched the first floor but didn't see her mother. The breakfast on the table was still untouched and her mother's bag was also on the sofa. So, her mother really hasn't woken up yet. This surprised Ziyan. Since she was adopted by her mother, she has never seen her mother get up before 7 o'clock, even on weekends. Was the blow last night too great? I'll go call her. Sumui went upstairs and stood in front of her mother's room. She was about to knock on the door but stopped. He rolled his eyes and went into the bathroom. My mother loved me very much since I was a child, so she decided to do something sexy. Facing the mirror, Sumui messed up her hair, then applied some BB cream and slightly improved it, making her face look extremely pale and bloodless. Then she held her breath so hard that her eyeballs bled, and only then did she leave the bathroom satisfied. Now she looks so haggard on the surface, and it is obvious that she has been heartbroken and deeply hurt. Who knows, maybe my mother will agree to let me and Ye Yuan be together just because she feels sorry for me. If she still doesn't agree, then just keep pretending like this for her to see. Boom boom boom. After knocking on the door 3 times and getting no response, Sumui opened the door. At this time, Ziyan was still asleep. Mom, wake up. Su Mui shook Su Ziyan and pretended to be weak. Su Ziyan slowly opened her eyes. Her eyes were red and bloodshot. Her eyes were swollen, but her eye sockets still looked moist. This made Su Mui stunned for a moment. Mommy won't cry all night, will she? Wow. No way, my mother is such a strong person, how could she cry all night? But the situation before me cannot be explained unless I cry all night. Su Ziyan became much more awake. She glanced at the time, quickly got up, brushed her teeth and washed up. She looked in the mirror and saw her swollen eyes. She cursed Ye Yuan in her heart again. Damn Ye Yuan, he keeps me from sleeping in peace. When I saw the dark circles under his eyes, I cursed even more in my heart. She quickly put on makeup to cover her concealer before going downstairs. When she went downstairs to eat, she realized that her daughter looked very haggard. Chapter 18 Mother-Daughter Game. How come my daughter's hair is so messy and unkempt? That's not like her. On weekdays, this girl pays great attention to her appearance. But now, my hair is a mess like a chicken coop. When Su Ziyan saw the love, her heart trembled. Her daughter's face was pale and bloodless, and her eyes were red. Could it be that he didn't sleep all night and the blow was too great? The more she thought about it, the more anxious and angry she became. Damn Ye Yuan. You will not die well. Damn bastard. Look at what you have done to us, mother and daughter. Su Mui ate breakfast listlessly, but her eyes were always on her mother. Seeing my mother look unhappy after seeing me like this, I couldn't help but laugh in my heart. Come on, Mom, blame yourself and agree that Ye Yuan and I can be together. Then she didn't expect that this move would backfire, and Su Ziyan hated Ye Yuan even more. Ye Yuan must stay away from Su Mui. Baby, are you okay? Su Ziyan asked worriedly. It's okay, I just don't want to go to school today. Su Muyan said weakly. Su Ziyan, that won't work. Studies are still very important. Su Mui, look at me like this, can I concentrate on the class? Su Ziyan frowned, stared at her daughter closely, and asked, then if I ask you to go see Ye Yuan, can you concentrate on the class? Let me see Ye Yuan. Really? Su Muyan immediately looked at her mother excitedly. Then, she found out that her mother had tricked her. Bang! Su Ziyan slammed the table and cursed, you are so good, you even fooled your mother? I said that no matter how pale your face is, it shouldn't be so different from the color of your neck, right? So you did it on purpose. I think you don't want to go to school. Do you want to hide at home and wait for Ye Yuan to come? I won't let you succeed. Starting today, I will arrange a lot of security guards at the four gates of the villa area and show them Ye Yuan's photo. I will never let him set foot in. Su Mui. Wow. Mom, do you really need to? That's right, in the morning, Su Mui was discussing with Ye Yuan how to avoid her mother and be secretly with Ye Yuan these days. One of the ways is to just rest at home if you're not in the mood to go to school. But now it seems that this method is obviously useless. As for other methods, Su Mui swallowed a mouthful of bread. She felt a chill all over her body when she saw the look in her mother's eyes. Mom is so smart, could it be that she knows what I'm thinking? No way. She should be sure that she couldn't contact Ye Yuan. Then why is she staring at me like that? It's so scary, Ye Yuan, help me, I'm going to be stared to death by my mother. Mu Yi, I advise you not to have any bad thoughts. I won't let you come into contact with Ye Yuan. After a long time, Su Ziyan spoke. Even the word baby that he usually called out became Mu Yi. After hearing this, Su Mui lowered his head and dared not speak. She still felt guilty in front of her mother, for she was afraid that her mother would check her phone again and find Daobao. In that case, he and Ye Yuan would really have no way to contact each other. So she kept avoiding her gaze and didn't dare to look Su Ziyan in the face. Seeing her daughter like this, Su Ziyan reached out and touched her head, and said earnestly, after Mom adopts you, I will love you so much. You must know that Mom will not harm you. Mom is the person who loves you the most in the world, so you have to listen to Mom. Really, baby, Mom is doing this for your own good. When you reach my age and have your own children, you will understand Mom's feelings. Yeah. Su Mui nodded continuously like a good baby. But I kept complaining in my heart. Wow, calling Mom every time, you really are full of the aura of maternal love. I'm sorry, Mom. No matter how good you are to me, I will never let go of Ye Yuan. Seeing her daughter being so obedient, Ziyan felt much better. She said, as long as you listen to me, I will satisfy you in everything. Of course, except Ye Yuan. Mui. Ziyan, didn't you say a while ago that you wanted to travel to other provinces and see the beautiful mountains and rivers of Kyushu? When mom is done with this period of work, I will take you on a tour across the country and travel all over the mountains and rivers of Kyushu. Didn't you like the Panamera before? Mom has customized it for you and it will be delivered to our doorstep next month. As long as you listen to mom, mom can satisfy you in any way. Ziyan spoke a long speech in one breath, full of maternal love. Of course, although these words sound good for Mui in many ways, she actually emphasized one point, which is, listen to your mother. At the same time, she felt very guilty. Although she was adopted, she is definitely closer to her than her biological daughter. She dotes on her daughter so much that she has never let her suffer any grievances since she was a child. I promised to let my precious daughter fall in love freely and that I would never interfere, but this happened. She really felt sorry for her daughter. Therefore, while emphasizing that her daughter should listen to her, she also wanted to make amends for her daughter's hurt heart. After all, the whole thing cannot be blamed on my daughter. She did nothing wrong. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself. If I had been less busy and suggested meeting my daughter's boyfriend earlier, perhaps things would have been much better. No, it's Ye Yuan's fault. Asshole. Son of a bitch. Brute. How can you, a 30-year-old man? How can you date someone who is 10 years younger than you? How could you have the heart to do that? Fuck you. Damn scumbag. Mui was completely stunned. Before, she had indeed been chattering in front of her mother about wanting to go out and travel and see Kyushu. But mom always disagreed, but now she agrees. Moreover, the Panamera that she liked would cost over 5 million after customization. My mother always disagreed, saying that although she was not short of money and 5 million was nothing, she was only 18 years old and it would be very troublesome for her to drive such a car. But now, why did you agree? Could it be that my mother suffered such a great blow that she has become mentally ill? But no matter what, it's a good thing. If my mother agrees to take me out for a trip, then I can secretly contact Ye Yuan, and then, secretly date Ye Yuan while traveling. If my mother can buy me a car, it means she will let me go out and play in the future. Otherwise, why buy a car? Will it just sit there and rust? Thinking of this, Mui quickly finished his breakfast, turned around and went upstairs to tidy up his appearance. When Ziyan saw that her daughter was so happy after listening to her words, she felt even more certain. As long as she is given time, her daughter will be able to forget Ye Yuan. After all, first love is the most unforgettable. So during this period of time, you must keep an eye on your daughter. We must never let Ye Yuan have any chance to succeed. Chapter 19, The Hardworking and Dedicated President. This damn Ye Yuan. Although it was indeed him that I pursued before. But no matter. He is the one who brought disaster to me, Ziyan. Now you come to harm my daughter again? If killing is not illegal, I would kill you hundreds of times in a minute. Absolutely not. I will not allow you to have any contact with my daughter. Don't even think about showing up until my daughter forgets about you. Pooh. Even if you forget, don't come out. After her daughter finished dressing up, Ziyan gave the housekeeper a few instructions and watched her daughter leave before putting on her bag, driving her Aston Martin, and heading to the company. As for Ye Yuan, last night, he traded foreign stocks and chatted with Mui until very late, so he simply didn't sleep. A little after 6 o'clock, he had breakfast and went to his company. Telecom Group. This company, which was established just half a year ago, has already become the wealthiest company in Xinguang Town. It is completely different from other companies. First of all, in terms of working hours, employees are late at 9 o'clock. Of course, except for the security guards and cleaning ladies. Ye Yuan went up to the top floor and sat in front of his computer in his office. He looked at the documents on the table and flipped through them. Because of the class reunion yesterday, he hadn't had time to check out the plans for the next few projects. Just as he was flipping through the documents, Daobao thought about it, and Ye Yuan quickly opened it. For the next half hour, Ye Yuan and Mui discussed how they usually met secretly and their next plans. It was not until 7:30 that the two stopped contacting each other. I feel sleepy. Although his body has been strengthened by the system, Ye Yuan is still a human being after all. Human beings cannot live without sleep. So, Ye Yuan lay on the table, wanting to take a short nap. Now, he only needs to rest for 1 or 2 hours a day to feel full of energy. 8 o'clock. There is still 1 hour left before the employees of Wang Yuan Group are late. There are only a handful of people within such a huge group. Security personnel downstairs and cleaning staff inside the building. Finally, a beautiful figure appeared at the company gate. The visitor was wearing black OL clothes, had a tall figure, and wore high-heeled shoes. She had a unique style when she walked. There are only a few people who can enjoy such beautiful scenery. This girl's name is Ye. She just graduated from college less than half a year ago. She studied finance and investment. Although it is not a famous school, she is the best graduate. When Ye Yuan was interviewing for the secretary position, he was attracted to her. Of course, he was not attracted to her as a person, but to every aspect of her. For Ye, this is undoubtedly a very good opportunity. Becoming a president's secretary right after graduation is something many people dream of. Although at that time, the Wang Yuan Group was just a small company that had just been established. But later on, she felt more and more that she was extremely lucky. In just half a year, the assets of this small company exceeded 1 billion, and she became the richest man in Xinguang town and became well known throughout Jiang province. Moreover, the president is very good to me and my salary is increasing rapidly. What's more, Mr. Yi is extremely handsome. Although he is only 30 years old, he looks like a young man who has just entered college. He is so charming. He is handsome, rich, works hard and treats his employees very well. He is simply the kind of male god president that only appears in novels. Therefore, she now loves this job very much and cherishes it very much. She strives to do her best in everything she does. The reason why she comes so early is that, first, she never sleeps in, and second, she has to arrive at the company first every day, print out various documents sent by the night shift employees in advance, and put them on the president's desk, so that when President Xi comes in the morning, he can sit in the office chair and work. Of course, she had long ago specifically told the cleaning ladies not to enter the president's office to clean. Because, here, she has it covered. Every day, Xu Ye would organize all the documents in the president's office and clean it inside and out. She would also make a cup of hot tea and place it on the desk, which was extremely thoughtful. It must be said that Ye Yuan had always known about her various practices and was very touched. Plus, Xu Ye is the person who spends the longest time with him every day, and Xu Ye is definitely a school belle. So, Ye Yuan had been tempted before. If Ye Yuan had not met Su Mui, it is possible that he would be with his secretary Xu Ye now. But now, I feel more like she is my own sister. After all, Ye Yuan has been an orphan since childhood and has no family. If Xu Ye is willing to be his sister, he will definitely be very happy. Xu Ye went up to the top floor, opened the door of the president's office, and was about to walk in when she was stunned. What is going on? Mr. Yi, why did he come so early? On weekdays, Ye Yuan always arrived on time, exactly at 9 o'clock. This was the first time Xu Ye had seen such a situation. Wait. Xu Ye looked at the suit on Ye Yuan. This suit was what Mr. Yi wore yesterday, didn't he change it? In other words, Mr. Yi did not go home yesterday. Mr. Yi actually worked alone in the office all night. Wow. How can there be such a good president in the world? He is so dedicated, right? But if you think about it carefully, it is true. Otherwise, the company would not have become the #1 company in Xinguang town in just half a year from its establishment. Xu Ye feels lucky to have such a boss. She walked quietly into the president's office and closed the door gently. It was a hot day, but Ye Yuan adjusted the air conditioner to 16 degrees, and the entire president's office was cool. Xu Ye was afraid that he would catch a cold while sleeping, so she adjusted the air conditioner to a more comfortable temperature of 26. Then she picked up the small quilt on the small sofa beside her and gently draped it on Ye Yuan's back. On weekdays, Mr. Yi would also lie on the small sofa and take a nap in the afternoon. Today he actually fell asleep on his desk. You can imagine how hard-working and tired he is. Ye Yuan's gentle and even breathing sounded in her ears. Xu Ye bent down slightly and stared at Ye Yuan secretly. Wow, so handsome. How can Mr. Yi be so handsome? When Mr. Yi was in school, He must have had a lot of suitors, right? I think there are school beauties as well. But Mr. Yi has always been single, and only started dating a girlfriend 3 months ago. Originally, Xu Ye liked Ye Yuan very much. The more she worked with him, the more she could see his good points in all aspects. This made her, who had just graduated, couldn't help but be moved. Before, I didn't dare to confess my feelings to Mr. Yi because I felt that he might not be interested in me, a top bachelor like him. It was not until the first time she saw Su Mui waiting for Mr. Yi downstairs of the company that she regretted it. After all, she was too late. Mr. Yi was snatched away by a little girl. Although she regretted it deeply, she was still happy that Ye Yuan had found his beloved. Su Mui is very beautiful, and I am slightly inferior to her. Chapter 20, The Diligent and Considerate President's Secretary. The more Xu Ye stared at Ye Yuan, the more fascinated she became, and her little heart beat faster and faster. In fact, Xu Ye has this kind of infatuated behavior every week. Of course, she only dared to secretly act infatuated with Ye Yuan when he closed his eyes for a nap. After staring at it for more than 10 minutes, Xu Ye finally remembered that she had not yet completed the daily work she set for herself. So, she tiptoed out, printed out the documents sent by the night shift employees one by one, held them in her arms, then made a cup of hot tea, took them one by one to Ye Yuan's office, and placed them neatly on the desk. After doing all this, she took out a pack of wet wipes from her bag, then put her bag and mobile phone on the desk, then took out a few wipes and cleaned the entire office gently, trying not to make any noise. Call. Xu Ye let out a breath. To be honest, cleaning so gently and tiptoeingly was really tiring. Ding ding dong, ding ding dong, dong dong dong. Just then, the phone on the desk rang. Xu Ye was startled. The vibration of her cell phone made the teapot on the desk buzz. She quickly picked up the phone and answered the call. If this woke Ye Yuan up, she would feel very guilty. After answering the phone, she secretly looked down at Ye Yuan. Phew, luckily, Mr. Yi was not woken up. So, she quietly walked away, then lowered her voice and asked breathlessly, hiss, ho, ho. Who is this? Ho, what's the matter? Plus, Xu Ye's voice is very soft, the type that makes people feel numb all over after listening to it. Plus, she lowered her voice and sounded a little breathless. If someone didn't know what she sounded like, they would think she had just done something bad. There was a long silence on the other end of the phone. Who are you? Speak. Xu Ye was very confused. Finally, Ziyan couldn't bear it anymore and asked in a cold and emotionless tone, Who are you? Where is Ye Yuan Ren? I'm Mr. Yi's secretary. Mr. Yi is sleeping now. Xu Ye answered with a slight stutter. She didn't think much about it, thinking it was a call from a customer. After all, the calls to Mr. Yi on weekdays are basically made to myself, and then I contact Ye Yuan myself. Secretary? Har har, it's true. The secretary does things when there are things to do, and does nothing when there are no things to do. Bar. Scumbag. Ye Yuan is a damn bastard. Bang. Beep, beep. After a burst of excited cursing, the phone was hung up. Xu Ye was confused. Why is this customer so weird? And what she said about the secretary? Well. Xu Ye took a closer look and realized that the phone in her hand was not her own, but Ye Yuan's. It seemed like I had done something bad and made a big mistake, and the woman on the other end of the phone misunderstood me. What should I do? Xu Ye is usually very careful, but she had no time to react to the scene just now because she was afraid that Ye Yuan would be woken up by the vibration of the phone. Unexpectedly, the phone was Ye Yuan's. It seems that I will have to put my mobile phone in my trouser pocket in the future. Xu Ye just realized it and wanted to call back to explain, but when she saw the lock screen of her phone and Su Mui on it, she was stunned. No way. Mr. Yi can't be the kind of person who plays both sides. Xu Ye had met Mr. Yi's girlfriend, Su Mui. She was very young and had a pretty good voice. But the woman on the phone just now had a very mature voice, like a royal sister, and a queen's voice when she was angry. I must have been overthinking it. Mr. Yi, it is impossible that he is such a person. He must be Mr. Yi's suitor. Yes, that's right, that must be the case. After all, Mr. Yi is so handsome and so successful. It's already 8:30. At this time, Ye Yuan was awakened by the noise made by Ye. He opened his eyes sleepily, rubbed them, and looked up at the clock on the wall. Ye, good morning. Ye Yuan stretched his body. After sleeping for more than half an hour, he felt much more energetic. The small quilt on his body fell off. Ye Yuan grabbed it, folded it and put it aside. Seeing the brewed tea on the table, Ye Yuan felt a warm feeling in his heart. He poured a cup, took a sip, and felt comfortable all over. It seems that my little secretary is still so considerate. Morning, that. Ye held the phone in one hand and covered her face with the other, her eyes dodging as she said, Boss Ye, a woman just came to see you and she seemed to have misunderstood us. After saying that, she returned the phone to Ye Yuan tremblingly, and the expression on her face looked like she was about to cry. What woman, what are you talking about? Ye Yuan didn't quite understand. Looking at the scene in front of me, it should be that when I was asleep, my cell phone rang. Ye was afraid that I would be woken up, so she answered it for me. But it couldn't be Sumui. Sumui was forced to delete all his contact information from his phone, and his phone number was also tampered with by Ziyan. In addition, Sumui and Ye had met before. So Ye Yuan didn't really understand which woman would contact him. Not many people know this mobile phone number. There are only secretaries and a few company CEOs. Oh yes, there is also Ziyan. It shouldn't be her, right? Mr. Yi, that's right, just now, that. Ye stammered, just now, I saw you sleeping. You must have worked all night. Just now, your phone rang, but I didn't pay attention. I thought it was my own. I wanted you to sleep a little longer, so I answered it. But it was a woman who asked me who I was and what I was doing. After I answered, she cursed you and hung up the phone. Boss Yi, are you okay? Or you can punish me. It's all my fault. Ye was very panicked. Although she had joined the company for half a year and had been with Ye Yuan for half a year, Ye had never seen Ye Yuan yell at her or get angry with her. But she felt that what she did this time was inappropriate and might make it difficult for Mr. Yi, so she wanted to admit her mistake and take responsibility in advance. What does that woman's voice sound like? Ye Yuan yawned and asked. On the surface, it looks like he doesn't care at all. Her voice was very mature, a little arrogant, and cold. Ye answered in a low voice. Ye Yuan then asked, how did she scold me? Let me think about it, bar. Scumbag. Ye Yuan is a damn bastard. Ye imitated the tone. I know who it is. Damn, this person must be Ziyan. Really, wasn't it enough that you threatened me last night? Now you called me today to scold me. Really, what a serious illness. Ding dong. Just then, Ye Yuan's cell phone rang. It was a text message. Ye Yuan took a look and immediately his face turned black. Ziyan, stinky Ye Yuan, damn Ye Yuan, you bastard. Par. You are a dead scum. Aquaman, a beast. I fuck you, you cheated on me back then, and now you cheat on my daughter's feelings. You're entangled with your secretary so early in the morning? You were in a bad mood last night, so you spent the night with your secretary. Is it because you are too idle, so you let your secretary do things when there is work, and when you have nothing to do? Chapter 21, A Strange Misunderstanding. It's okay, it's just a small problem. Go and do your thing. I'll deal with the documents first. Ye Yuan put away his phone and didn't take Ziyan's words to heart. Misunderstanding or not, it makes no difference. If I had answered the phone just now, I might be in a bad mood again. He knew without thinking that Ziyan called him just to warn him again and threaten him, preventing him from having any contact with Sumui. Picture everything. Jiang Province, Global Port. Eva invested in an office building in Zhuzhou district. In the president's office. After sending the text message, Ziyan was so angry that she almost smashed her phone. But she is still very rational. Cell phones should never be smashed, they should be used for work. Damn Ye Yuan, he's making me feel so uneasy. Ziyan took a sip of bitter coffee to refresh herself. No matter how she thought about it, she never expected that Ye Yuan, this bastard, would actually be with the secretary. Damn it, damn scumbag. Maybe he's not just having his feet on two boats, but at least 3 or 4. Neptune. Do you think you are Cow in the Battle of Red Cliff? The boat is connected by iron chains, making it as easy as walking on flat ground. I will fuck you to death. Damn this troublemaker. Fortunately, I discovered it early, otherwise my daughter would have been injured to death. If she hadn't attended this class reunion, she wouldn't have known that her daughter was in love with him. Fortunately, she found out early. Ziyan actually felt lucky in her heart. Ye Yuan, you were not this kind of person before. If it is true that men become bad when they have money, I will not let you go. After muttering to herself for a few sentences, Ziyan calmed down. She held her coffee in one hand and looked at the documents in the other hand. Suddenly, an idea flashed in her mind. No matter what, Ye Yuan cannot be allowed to be with his daughter. And just as what the information said was true, it wouldn't be long before Ye Yuan would become a major investment tycoon in Kyushu. This one do, it must be strangled. For my daughter. Yes, that's right, it's for my daughter. Nowadays, Ziyan has completely lost her mind due to anger. It seems that Ye Yuan didn't take the threat he made over the phone yesterday seriously, so he will be threatened with actual actions. So, Ziyan pressed the phone in front of her, dialed the secretary, and ordered in a cold voice, "Linder, notify all employees to put down their work and go to the meeting hall. Now, science, immediately." Bang. Just press the phone hard. Damn it, I'm so angry. Ye Yuan, I admit that you are excellent and a genius in managing the world, but no matter what, your company has only been developed for half a year and it is impossible for it to stand on its own. We will strangle you in the cradle while you are still underdeveloped. What's the use of a mere 10 billion in assets? What does it count for compared to my Ever's investment? Just wait and see how I will rip off all your money and turn you into a pauper. Damn scumbag. Now that you become a pauper, I wonder how you can pick up girls and deceive little girls. Get down here. At this time, Ever Investment is inside Kyushu district. Because of Ziyan's phone call, the secretary issued a notice and reminded that the president seemed to be in a bad mood. This instantly made most of the employees of Ever Investment panic. As the saying goes, a new official starts with 3 things to do. Ziyan, the CEO who was parachuted into Zhuzhou from the United States, has been here for some time, but she has never shown any strong side and has always been going to work and coming home in an orderly manner. Although he usually has a stern and cold face, he rarely talks to his employees, so no one can figure out what he is thinking. He didn't show any strong points during the daily meetings and summary meetings. But unexpectedly, this day has finally come, and this parachuted female president is finally about to explode. Moreover, all the employees in the company have heard of the reputation of the female president, Ziyan. That's the United States, the investment queen of the investment circle. To have such a title, one must have absolute strength. Since she parachuted into Zhuzhou district, theoretically she should have taken steps to reorganize the company and make large-scale changes to employee positions. The 35-year-old parachuted female president. The helmsman of such a large multinational corporation in China. 5 minutes later. In the conference hall of Ever Investment Zhuzhou district headquarters, all the employees on duty were furious. Because Ziyan requires that all management levels above A6 must be in place. Everyone looked at each other, not knowing what was going on, but no one dared to speak. Why was an emergency meeting suddenly called? Did something turbulent happen? I haven't heard of any shocks in the stock market recently. Most of the people present could no longer sit still. After all, if such a large company really needs to be reorganized, a lot of people can be laid off easily. Moreover, with so many employees, there are bound to be some dishonest people among them. The president has been silent for so long, he might lose CHA, so at this moment, most of the people present were extremely nervous. Seeing that the president had not arrived yet, everyone finally lost patience and started discussing in low voices. Do you know what's going on? We just got to work, why are they calling a meeting? And they are asking all employees to be in place. What on earth is this overseas returnee CEO trying to do? Is she going to lay off employees to establish her authority? Who knows? But according to the plot in the TV series, I think it's very likely that the company's policy has changed, or it's just like what you said, the overseas returnee CEO wants to lay off employees to establish his authority. Fuck, I was bragging at the drinking party yesterday about how powerful I was in the company. Many employees were there at the time. Do you think they would let it slip and the CEO would find out and then get rid of me? Don't panic. Our positions are there. You and I are veterans of the company after all. We have made a lot of contributions. Even if we made some mistakes, it is impossible for us to break the company rules just because of a parachuted president. Anyway, I am not afraid. Their head office dare not do anything to me, let alone this overseas returnee president. Oh? Really? Then tell me, if you're not afraid, why are your old legs shaking like this? You know shit. I have cold legs, so it's normal to shiver. I can't help it. TSK, you're still pretending to be so great. Hold your legs down and talk first. You bastard, be careful because you will be the first one to suffer. Okay, everyone be quiet. I heard from the head office that this female president who returned from overseas has a strong background and is very disciplined and principled. She won't do anything without reason, so don't panic. It may be that the company has introduced some new policies. Chapter 22, the female president who returned from overseas is going to reorganize the company. Teeter. 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 On the podium of the Great Hall, the sound of high heels tapping on the floor was heard. Everyone immediately shut up and fell silent. All the employees' eyes were focused on Ziyan, who slowly walked onto the stage. I have to say, this new female president who returned from overseas is really stunningly beautiful. Especially the charm and temperament on her body. Ziyan walked up to the presidium, sat down, straightened her body, and glanced coldly at the entire audience. She is dressed like an OL and has a unique beauty at this moment. Many employees stared with wide eyes. After all, Ziyan arrived very early every day and worked until very late. So most of the employees have never even seen her face. After seeing her today, I found that she really lives up to her reputation as the queen of investment, a true queen-level goddess. Everyone on duty, no one is absent, right? Let the meeting begin. Ziyan's facial expression remained unchanged and was extremely cold. As soon as she finished speaking, the secretary beside her handed her a cup of coffee. The secretary sitting not far away quickly opened his book and began to record the meeting. The employees below the stage immediately took out their pens and notebooks. Overall, the atmosphere was nice. As everyone knows, I have been in Kyushu district as the president for some time. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for their support for my work during this period of time. Ziyan's voice was not very loud, but every word was clear and pleasant, making it easy for people to hear it. She paused and continued, during this period, I have been busy with work. I believe that many people have never seen me, and many people think that I am not scary, so I have secretly observed you for a while, and I have not found any shortcomings in your work. I will not go into details about these now. Employees with problems will receive an email from the Internal Affairs Department, asking you to resign voluntarily. I will save your face. Of course, if you are dissatisfied and feel that you have no problem, you are welcome to come to me at any time to argue. Indeed, during this period of time, Ziyan had done a lot of secret investigations and discovered that many employees in this company were very dirty, so she needed to clean up this company. Without solid evidence and sufficient charges, she would not send the documents to those employees. The employees listened carefully to Ziyan's words, not daring to breathe. Many of them were shocked and trembling all over, extremely frightened. Especially the second half of Ziyan's words, which made some of the employees present stare blankly. As the saying goes, a new official starts with 3 things. It certainly hadn't burned before. But now, alas, it's not that it won't burn, but that the time has not come yet. He used his ultimate move right at the start. I'm afraid a lot of messy evidence has been collected during this period. Everyone had to admire her work ability. It takes 3 months to check all the employees, which is a huge workload. Besides, the president has a lot of work to do every day, and this is what she does in her free time. This kind of execution. No wonder she became the president of Ever Investment Kyushu District at the age of only 30. Such outstanding qualities made everyone present feel ashamed of themselves. For a while, some people are in a state of panic. They are all afraid that something unfavorable to them will be collected. It's better to be safe than sorry. Now, they are all praying that they won't receive anything later. If you receive it, then it's over. How can I possibly argue with the president? Would the president say such a thing without solid evidence and absolute confidence? In short, for those who received the letter, resignation is a foregone conclusion. This overseas returnee president at least had some humanity. He did not talk about those people and events one by one in the conference room, nor did he fire them, but asked them to resign voluntarily. You have to know that in the workplace, being fired and voluntarily resigning are completely different and the nature is very different. If you are looking for a job, especially in a big company, and you see information about being fired on your resume, then you will most likely not pass the interview, unless you are really capable. But if one is too powerful and makes some mistakes, he will not be fired. Ziyan has been paying attention to the expressions of all the employees. She is quite satisfied with the current situation. She also enjoyed the feeling of being in control. In fact, after she parachuted into the Zhuzhou district headquarters, she had already begun planning to establish her authority. She spent a lot of effort in finding the evidence. Originally, this plan would not be actually implemented until some time later, but Ye Yuan really hurt her heart, so she took this opportunity to advance the plan. At the same time, she implemented the plan she had just thought of and tried her best to suppress Ye Yuan and make him a pauper. Even if you become a pauper, if you can still pick up girls, you are awesome, right? I admit it. Taking a deep breath, Ziyan continued, during this period of time, I have also discovered that you like to form small circles, and many departments are doing their own things, without any team spirit. Therefore, this time I plan to carry out a joint action in the company, mainly to test and strengthen your team's collaboration ability. After she finished speaking, she paused and continued, please devote your whole heart and soul to this time. This will affect your future promotion and salary. Regarding this specific plan, I will inform your leadership department after the meeting. That's all I have to say. Except for the ministers of the major departments, everyone else can leave the meeting. Oh, by the way, remember to check your emails. If you have received the documents, please resign on your own. I will check it in the evening. Don't take any chances. If anyone does not follow the instructions, you will be fired. The meeting is adjourned. Crash. The lower-level employees all ran away. The atmosphere was too terrible. They couldn't stay here for long. They had to go back to check whether they had received the documents. After the lower-level employees dispersed, the atmosphere in the conference hall became quite solemn and quiet, and no one dared to speak. They really didn't want to stay there for a moment. God knows what is waiting for them next. And looking at the female president's expression, it looks very bad and she seems very angry. Could it be that someone has caused some big trouble? After the low-level employees left, Ziyan took a sip of coffee, glanced at the remaining employees, and spoke seriously about her plan with a gloomy face. Specifically, I will give you about 10 stocks from the marketing department. Of course, these stocks are strictly selected by me. The marketing department and other departments are responsible for cooperation. While working as a team, you must keep a close eye on the stocks and notify me if there is any movement. For this cooperation plan, I will let a dedicated person be responsible for scoring you. The specific scores are based on your own positions and work performance. It is absolutely fair. After the end, I will give you appropriate rewards, promotions or demotions. Chapter 23 Ziyan's Plan. In the business world, there are some things I don't need to say. If you are capable, I will not bury you. If you are incapable, I will not let you stay in a high position for a long time. And then, the specific content of the following plan will take about 10 minutes to talk about. These 10 stocks were selected by Ziyan based on the stocks that Ye Yuan's Wang Yuan Group currently holds for a long time. The purpose is to drive down the value of these stocks and use the overall market to crush startup companies like Ye Yuan. The employees present nodded one by one, listened attentively, and took notes continuously. They are extremely alert and will not let down their guard in the coming period. After all, this was an order given by Ziyan herself. A new official has 3 things to do when he takes office, and no one wants the fire to burn himself. Even the most senior vice president looked ready for action. Besides, the president has already said it, and capable people naturally want to show themselves. Those who have held high positions for a long time but have no ability must fight harder to prove themselves. Okay, this is the plan. When you return to the department, you can present the plan and hold a brief meeting. The meeting is adjourned. After these words were spoken, everyone turned around and left without saying a word. They were anxious to execute the plan, and from now on, they could not let down their guard. After everyone left, Ziyan finished her coffee and took out a document from her handbag. Meng, come here. Su Ziyan called out to the secretary Zhang Mengmeng beside her and handed her the information in her hand. This is the information of Ye Yuan Group. Take a look, Mengmeng. You have always been the person I trust the most. You know how I treat you. When I was transferred here, I applied for you to be my secretary and transferred here together. So, I hope you can help me keep a close eye on this company. There are some things I don't want to say explicitly. I can only tell you that the 10 stocks I just mentioned are all permanent stocks of this company. Of course, next time this company buys any stock, you have to bid low for me and keep a close eye on it. Don't let me down. Zhang Mengmeng was also transferred from the head office. Before, Su Ziyan was her best colleague in the United States and they worked together for 5 years. There is a deep bond between the two. Of course, her ability is unquestionable, the key is that Su Ziyan is more trustworthy. Okay. Zhang Mengmeng nodded without thinking too much and took the information. Ye Yuan Group. She still has some impression of it. This is a financial investment company that emerged half a year ago. The company's capital growth has exploded. It is said that domestic giant investment companies and investment tycoons have praised the boss of that company as the strongest dark horse in the investment world and the future super investment tycoon. And, I heard the boss is a handsome guy. Look very young? Although he has not shown his face in advance, the employees of Ye Yuan Group all said so it seems to be true. Okay, this is your main task. Cooperate with the plan I just mentioned and make sure to keep a close eye on him. You are the person I trust the most and the one I value the most. I believe in you. When Su Ziyan said this, she became unnaturally excited. Although this move was something she had just thought of, it was absolutely feasible and she could only succeed and not fail. Because I have crossed the line. Okay. Zhang Mengmeng didn't say much, nodded again and agreed. She felt a little strange. Is there anything special about this Ye Yuan Group? There are many financial companies of this level in the whole Jiang province. Apart from their strong momentum and unusually fast rise, there seems to be nothing special about them. There is no way they can catch Su Ziyan's eye. And she vaguely heard the change in Su Ziyan's tone. I couldn't help but think about it more. Maybe there is some hidden secret. However, the thought was thrown out of her head as soon as it appeared. She and Su Ziyan have worked together for so many years. I still understand Su Ziyan. In her impression, Su Ziyan is a very rational and calm person. There should be no targeting of the Ye Yuan Group for other reasons. Maybe Ye Yuan Group was the company that Su Ziyan randomly selected to be attacked. But no one could have imagined it. Su Ziyan was so jealous and angry that she wanted to destroy Ye Yuan's company. Even the emergency meeting just now was held because of Ye Yuan. If the people who invested in even knew that it was because of Ye Yuan that Su Ziyan made such a big fuss and took revenge, I'm afraid they will all go crazy. A jealous woman is very scary, an angry woman is even scarier, and a woman who is content with her own ambition is even scarier. Ever's investment in the Kyushu district headquarters has come to an end, and the employees are already implementing the specific plan. This is a giant investment company, a joint action by all employees. If Ye Yuan knew what happened, he would probably be shocked. At this time, inside the office of the president of Ye Yuan Group, Ye Yuan finished dealing with the documents at hand, drank the tea made by Xu Yeye, then stood up and stretched. Ye Yuan took out a pack of cigarettes from the drawer, opened it, and went up to the rooftop. Although it was hot and stuffy, it was still bearable. He lit a cigarette and started smoking. I had quit smoking, but now I started smoking again. In less than a day, he felt physically and mentally exhausted. Now, smoking a cigarette, he felt much better. While smoking, Ye Yuan took out his cell phone and checked the stock situation. A few days ago, he bought more than 10 stocks based on his own analysis and the system's return rate prompts. The stock categories cover various sectors, but these stocks have been growing steadily and are very stable. After selling them in a few days, Ye Yuan's assets will increase several times. As long as he follows the system's prompts and his own analysis, I believe it won't be long before Ye Yuan's Ye Yuan company will become a giant company that can threaten Ever's investment position. Ye Yuan clicked on the stocks he held. A virtual screen that no one else can see immediately appeared in front of me. This is also a special function that appears after the system is updated. Virtual screen projection. Elephant wool, the current trend is normal, and it is expected to reach the highest peak in 5 days. According to their host's holdings, if their host sells it within 20 minutes of the opening in 5 days, he can make a profit of 100 million yuan. Jiangnan fruit tea, the current trend is normal, and it is expected to reach its peak in 5 days. According to their host's holdings, selling it before the opening half an hour 5 days later can make a profit of 130 million. Zhenxing Technology, the current trend is normal, it is expected. I took a quick look at these dozen stocks. Coincidentally, 5 days later, all these stocks reached their peak. Chapter 24. Ye Yuan was very depressed. Ye Yuan trusted the system's prompts. After all, the system had never made any mistakes in the past 6 months. By then, Ye Yuan would sell all of them and make at least 2 billion yuan. By then, the company's assets would quadruple, which would be terrifying. Therefore, Ye Yuan plans to set a small goal first, to earn 10 billion. After turning off the screen and finishing his cigarette, Ye Yuan felt much better. He went down the rooftop and returned to the office. At some point, Shu Yeye came over and made him another cup of hot tea. Ding! Warning, warning! At this moment, the system's voice sounded, which really scared Ye Yuan. This was the first time Ye Yuan had ever heard this sound. Warning! Warning! The system has detected that the stocks held by the host will experience large-scale fluctuations. Please pay attention. After hearing this, Ye Yuan's eyes widened. What is going on? He immediately took out his mobile phone, opened the app, and looked at the stocks he held again. Of course, it's impossible to tell anything from this look. But Ye Yuan, he has a system. No sooner had he looked down than a virtual projection screen appeared in his personal line of sight. Elephant wool will show abnormality today and is expected to reach its peak in 5 days. According to their host's holdings, an emergency sell-off within 20 minutes of the opening of the market in 5 days will generate a profit of 25 million. Jiangnan fruit tea will be abnormal today and is expected to reach its peak in 5 days. According to their host's holdings, an emergency sell-off within 30 minutes of the opening of the market in 5 days will result in a profit of 35 million. Zhenxing Technology will experience abnormalities in 1 day, expected. Oh shit! What the hell is this? What is going on? All in all, it only took 5 minutes. The system prompts a warning. And told myself that, in total, I would earn almost 1.1 billion less. Logically speaking, these stocks are relatively safe and high-profit stocks that I have selected based on the overall market. How could such strange fluctuations occur? And it's just like this for one stock. Is this the case for 10 stocks in a row? That's not encountering a ghost. System. Tell me quickly, how could you have made a mistake in your budget? What happened? I hope you haven't malfunctioned and the update has made things worse for you. Ye Yuan asked in his mind. Bite. System, this is not a budget error, but a big market maker brought in funds and artificially intervened in the stock trend, which is why this situation occurred. Ye Yuan understood instantly. This is an unspoken rule in the stock market: the bankers eat the big fish, the big investors eat the small fish, and the small fish die. Use large funds to force changes in stocks in order to achieve the purpose of making profits. But Ye Yuan felt a little strange. Because the increase in the prices of his dozen or so stocks is not exaggerated, they are the kind that can only be profitable if held in the medium to long term. Why would such a big market maker who can fluctuate the stock market deal in these stocks? Isn't he that unscientific? And the so-called big market maker in the stock market, doesn't he that person have assets close to 100 billion? In their eyes, this small profit of just a few hundred million is not much money. It's like using a cannon to kill a mosquito. It's not worth it. Could it be that the capital is so full that it is bored? Or am I just so lucky that I met this kind of lunatic? Grass. Ye Yuan was still very angry. Originally, the profit was at least 2 billion, but now it is directly reduced by 1.1 billion. What is the concept? His own Ye Yuan group only has assets of 10 billion. This means that you suddenly lose your own company. Oh my god, the more I think about it, the angrier I get. The angrier I get, the more I think about it. Ye Yuan really wanted to fight. Which big banker who has nothing better to do than to pick a fight with me is so crazy? Ye Yuan was depressed, extremely depressed, more depressed than ever before. At noon, the stock market opened, and just as the system said, as soon as the big market maker joined in, the stock became volatile. The stock market was closed in the afternoon. Office of the President of Ever Investments. Ziyan was browsing the email sent by her secretary Zhang Mengmeng. Ziyan is quite confident about Zhang Mengmeng's abilities. From the above data report analysis, it won't be long. After 7 days, Ye Yuan will start to lose money. After half a month, his assets will shrink by 90%. Only 1/10 of the $1 billion will be saved. The stock market is cruel. If things go wrong, Ye Yuan will go bankrupt. In addition, Ye Yuan's company has recently started projects in other industries, which is a huge expense. If only 1/10 of the assets remain, then Ye Yuan will face bankruptcy. Am I going a little too far? A hint of hesitation flashed through Ziyan's mind. Ziyan always had inexplicable emotions in her heart towards Ye Yuan. But when Ziyan thought about the call she made to Ye Yuan in the morning, that panting female voice, Ziyan was so angry that she couldn't control herself. That is too much. No matter what. Even if Ye Yuan can learn from his mistakes, it would be good. You must never stop. Ziyan crossed out the letters and approved the plan sent by Zhang Mengmeng. Seeing that your career, Ye Yuan, has collapsed and you are penniless, you can't just go around and cheat on young girls, right? At worst, I can just give him some compensation when the time comes. If Ye Yuan knew that I did it, then, so what? If Ye Yuan begged her on his knees, Ziyan might consider marrying Ye Yuan, but she would never let anything happen between him and her daughter. Think of this. Ziyan was feeling a little confused at the moment. This was the first time she began to question her decision, which was a very dangerous signal for someone at the helm of a large company. Because if she is not calm enough, it is likely to affect the company's decisions and interests. Ziyan maintained this mentality until the end of the get-off workday and she still couldn't calm down. Staying in the company, looking at emails from various departments of the company, Ziyan became more and more irritated. She looked at the time and it was almost time to get off work. So I left early and drove to my daughter's school. At this time, you should pay more attention to your daughter. After all, it was because of my instigation that she just broke up. In front of Jiangju Foreign Trade College. After Ziyan parked the car, she saw the housekeeper still guarding the school gate. Since Ziyan came in person, there was naturally no need for the housekeeper to watch over her, so she was allowed to go home early from get-off work. After waiting at the school gate for a while, Sumui walked out of the school gate with his head down, feeling uninterested. She saw her mother's car parked at the door. He quietly opened the door and sat in the back seat. After seeing this scene, Ziyan felt a little uncomfortable. Although what I did was wrong and it was too cruel to my daughter, it was all for her own good. Therefore, your choice is not wrong. But she is usually the closest to her daughter. When she came to pick her up this time, she didn't sit in the passenger seat but ran to the back seat. Chapter 25, Mother's Worries, Daughter's Intuition. Mom will take you to eat your favorite steak. Ziyan forced a smile and said to her daughter in the back row. Oh, but I don't want to eat. Sumui said in a low voice. Ziyan, then take you to eat seafood. I'm tired of eating. Sumui lowered his head and played with his fingers, not in a very good mood. Japanese food. Not interested. Mom made it for you. I don't want to eat at home. Ziyan became a little autistic. But she is just an 18-year-old girl after all. I was forced into a breakup and required to be picked up and dropped off at school every day, which meant that it was difficult for me to see my boyfriend during this period. How could she be happy? Okay, then let's go home first. If you want to eat something, just get takeout. Ziyan shook her head, started the car and drove home. Along the way, she didn't talk to her daughter again. The atmosphere in the car was quite silent. Ziyan was driving while looking at the rearview mirror. I found my daughter sitting alone in the back of the car playing with her cell phone. Smile foolishly from time to time. Suddenly, her heart skipped a beat. What's going on? It was very strong, and a bad premonition came to my mind. Could it be that my daughter is chatting with Ye Yuan again? No way, no way. Ziyan is a veteran and has been working in the business world for many years. The most basic ability to read people's expressions is still very strong. My daughter's smile is obviously not normal. When I was cheated by that bastard Ye Yuan in the past, I seem to often let out this kind of silly smile from time to time. Ziyan's mood suddenly became heavy again. But his daughter had deleted all of Ye Yuan's contact information in front of him, and even tampered with her daughter's cell phone number. No, I can't think about it anymore, I have to focus on driving. I'll talk about this after I get back. After returning home, Ziyan didn't say anything on the surface, and didn't ask her daughter anything else. Until evening. Seeing that it was almost time, Ziyan called her daughter to take a bath. Sumui didn't think much about it and went to the bathroom to take a shower. Ziyan has come to understand over the years that her daughter would not take her cell phone with her. So she secretly went to her daughter's room and found her cell phone on the bed. Sumui's password is her birthday. Enter. Wrong password. Huh? It's changed. Then she entered her birthday. Wrong password. What on earth is it? She entered the date her daughter was adopted. Wrong password. Shit. No way. The password is not the birthday of the damn scumbag Ye Yuan, right? Ziyan swallowed her saliva, her heartbeat quickened, her fingers trembling a little, as she entered Ye Yuan's birthday. Then. Just unlock it directly. Damn Ye Yuan. I will never let you go. Ziyan gnashed her teeth in hatred. But now we have to hurry. Ziyan quickly checked the records of major apps and found nothing unusual. Then I checked the text messages and call records and there was nothing unusual. Ziyan gradually felt relieved. However, call logs and text messages can be deleted. Although he had tampered with his daughter's cell phone number, there was no guarantee that Ye Yuan might have another cell phone number and that his daughter had written it down. This possibility is not small. After Ziyan finished checking, she carefully put the phone back to its original place. She went downstairs to pour a glass of water. When she went upstairs, her daughter had just finished taking a bath. Ziyan returned to her room very calmly, and there was no sign of anything wrong on the surface. Back to the room, because Sumui's phone card was applied for using her ID card. So she immediately found her mobile account manager and checked the call and text message records. Soon, the results came out. There have been no unusual calls or text messages since last night. To be precise, apart from 1 or 2 harassing calls and a text message promoting data traffic, there was nothing else. At this moment, Ziyan finally felt relieved. It seems that my daughter took my words to heart. All my love for her over the years has not been in vain. As long as my daughter continues like this, I believe it won't be long before she can completely forget about Ye Yuan, that damn scumbag. Therefore, I cannot relax and must pay more attention from now on. He couldn't leave any loopholes and was seized by Ye Yuan. We must completely block all his paths. Damn Ye Yuan. Stinky leaves far away. Son of a bitch. If you dare to touch my daughter, I will make you regret it for the rest of your life. Although Ziyan didn't find anything unusual about her daughter's mobile phone, she relied on a woman's sixth sense. She always felt like something was wrong. As for why he didn't tell Sumui about discovering Ye Yuan's true identity today. The first reason was that he was afraid that Sumui would not believe it. After all, there was no evidence. Second, she was also an experienced person, and the last thing a young girl like today would want was to ruin Sumui's impression of her first love. Now all that matters is that the two of them break up. She didn't want her daughter to get hurt. Time, what we need is time. Time can dilute everything. Soon, my daughter will be able to come out. Ziyan sat in the room, feeling inexplicably irritated. It looks like I'm going to have insomnia again tonight. At the same time, Sumui's room. After taking a shower and changing into her pajamas, she gently locked the door and lay on her back on the bed happily. Open Daobao and contact Ye Yuan. Soon, Ye Yuan replied with a voice message. Sumui smiled and started chatting with Ye Yuan via voice. This was very happy for her. Sumui is a person who is relatively easy to satisfy. After chatting with Ye Yuan for a while, she keenly discovered that Ye Yuan was not in a very good mood. It seemed like Ye Yuan was hiding something from him. So after she asked repeatedly, Ye Yuan told her about the company's stocks. Sumui was quite smart, and immediately became suspicious, and asked directly, could it be my mother's doing? Ye Yuan also thought about this problem at first, but still felt that it was not necessary. Isn't it just a small misunderstanding? Would Su Ziyan be crazy enough to use more than tens of billions of funds to invest in her own stocks? Even if it does, will the company agree? With either investment, it's impossible for Su Ziyan to cover the sky with one hand, right? Therefore, Ye Yuan directly abandoned this idea. Because if it were true, Su Ziyan would have crossed the line, and the consequences would be very serious. She would not be able to survive in the investment circle and the stock market in the future. Ye Yuan, I don't think it's your mother. Su Mui, I don't know much about financial issues, but my intuition tells me that it is very likely. And once my mother gets angry, she will really lose her mind. She may be crazy and mess with you. You should check it out carefully. Seeing Su Mui say this, Ye Yuan couldn't help but become suspicious. Could it really be Su Ziyan? Is she going crazy trying to mess with herself? This is fucking Shulaji, right? Chapter 26. If the small thing is too arrogant, then just use the medium thing. Especially when I think about the secretary answering my call this morning and Su Ziyang's reaction. It's not impossible. Although Su Ziyan looks cold, she is actually a passionate person at heart. I am decisive and aggressive in doing things. Besides, it's a bit unreasonable when women get jealous. Ye Yuan was also afraid that Su Ziyang would tell Su Mui what happened this morning, so he took the initiative to explain to Su Mui what happened in the morning. Of course Su Mui believed in Ye Yuan unconditionally. She chatted with Ye Yuan all night last night. What bad things could Ye Yuan do? It's totally impossible. But now she was even more certain that the things that happened in Ye Yuan's company were caused by her mother. Su Mui, oh, dear, Mom always says you are a scumbag, a sea king, a bastard. It's okay, let her scold me. As long as you know what kind of person I am, it's okay. How she feels is her business. Ye Yuan replied. Su Mui was still a little worried, so she sent a voice message asking, "Is your company really okay? Do you want me to go ask if it was Mom who did it? I really don't want to see you unhappy. I'll only be happy if you're happy." Ye Yuan felt warm in his heart when he heard the deep worry and concern in Su Mui's words. He replied, "It's okay, don't ask. If you ask, she will infer that you and I are still in contact. This is not worth the loss. You may not only lose your freedom, but also your cell phone. Besides, don't you still believe in me? This is enough. Besides, you should know how capable I am as your man. Isn't it just 1.1 billion less? In the future, I will have countless billions. Moreover, no matter how powerful your mother is, at best, she will only make me earn a little less money." Su Mui, but that's 1.1 billion. Ye Yuan, it's nothing, nothing. Su Mui, wow, you are too crazy. Ye Yuan, then it's average. Then. That's all. The two chatted until late at night. It was not until Su Mui fell asleep unknowingly that Ye Yuan started to trade stocks in foreign stock markets. Although the company will lose 1.1 billion yuan in domestic profits, Ye Yuan's overseas stocks will not be affected. He just didn't believe that Su Ziyan had such extraordinary abilities that she could find out the stocks he bought abroad. Even if she really has this ability, would she dare to do it? Ye Yuan didn't believe it. The next day, as usual, Ye Yuan got up early, did some exercise, and continued chatting with Su Mui, who had just woken up. Su Ziyan didn't sleep all night again, and her hatred for Ye Yuan became even stronger. If Ye Yuan appeared in front of her, she would fight him to the death without hesitation. This time, he used his identity to cross the line and violate the rules, which is tantamount to risking his life. As long as someone finds out and reports it, not only will her position as CEO be lost, but she will also no longer be able to gain a foothold in the financial circle or the stock market. But as long as she can bring Ye Yuan down, she will not regret it. After getting up, washing up and going downstairs, I found my daughter was eating. Although she still didn't look like she had slept well, at least she had a slight smile on her face. Wait. Smile? No way. Shaking her head, Su Ziyang didn't think too much about it, hoping it was just her illusion. Su Ziyan waited until the housekeeper sent her daughter to school before she went out and drove to the company. My plan was executed very smoothly and the results were very good. I must keep a close eye on it and cannot allow any mistakes to occur. After Ye Yuan arrived at the company, he immediately began to implement his plan. He wanted to reduce their loss to the minimum and earn 1.1 billion less. Although he said it lightly, Ye Yuan couldn't accept it in his heart. Therefore, he wanted to reduce the loss of 1.1 billion. Even if he could only make up 100 million, it would be a huge profit. That's all. 5 days passed. Ziyan had a very hard time these 5 days and suffered from insomnia almost every day. I always feel a little uneasy. I have to apply heavy eyeshadow every day to cover up my dark circles. She still had little to talk about with her daughter. I can't tell her my true feelings anymore, and this is what makes her most uncomfortable. Morning. She watched the butler send Sumui away, then drove to the company. After arriving at the office, Ziyan lay on the desk and closed her eyes for a while. She was waiting for the stock market to open. Because after today, the stocks held by Ye Yuan's company will be pulled down and locked up. As long as she did it, she would not regret it even if she was fired on the spot and could no longer gain a foothold in the financial circle and the stock market. The stock market opens. Ever Investment has already made all the arrangements, and their traders have begun to invest large amounts of funds to operate those 10 stocks as planned. Now we just have to wait for Ye Yuan to take the bait. Sudden. The administrative phone in the office rang urgently. Ziyan was stunned for a moment, then picked up the phone. Boss Su, the situation has changed. Ye Yuan Group seems to have noticed our plan, and the first 3 stocks have begun to cash out crazily. Zhang Mingming's anxious voice came from the other end of the phone. Impossible. The trend of these 3 stocks has been very stable, and their companies haven't had any problems. It's a sure win if you continue to hold them. How could they suddenly sell them out to cash out at this time? Ziyan suddenly felt annoyed. She has extreme confidence in her judgment. This situation would only happen if someone leaked the news to the Ye Yuan Group in advance. But only she and Zhang Mengmeng knew about this. Zhang Mengmeng would never do such a thing. I don't know what's going on. Should we continue buying now? Zhang Mengmeng was very nervous. Ziyan didn't say anything, but opened the stock market and started looking at it. Less than 10 minutes. She quickly formulated another plan in her mind. Ziyan continued to speak into the microphone, change the plan. Give up these 3 stocks and continue to push up the prices of the other 7 stocks. Push them as high as possible. Let them reach the daily limit for 3 consecutive days, and then let them go on the 4th day. Okay, got it. By the way, shuffle the order of the 7 stocks and let the 7 teams in the marketing department do it. Don't let them know the specific plan. Ziyan thought for a moment and continued to add. After all, the situation has changed and she must respond. Otherwise, the problem will be easily discovered by discerning people in the company. In that case, she would not achieve her goal. After hanging up the phone, Ziyan became more and more irritated. Was it a coincidence, or did Ye Yuan analyze something and stop the loss in time? Is Ye Yuan so powerful? Chapter 27. How did this turn out to be a huge profit? Ye Yuan Group Investments Limited. Ye Yuan was directing the traders to sell the 3 stocks they had. There is no other way but to follow the system's instructions and sell these 3 stocks now. Although he did not lose money and even made a huge profit, Ye Yuan still felt very uncomfortable. After all, he lost so much money. Although he said it was easy and moderate, in fact, his heart was bleeding. This is a loss of more than 1.1 billion yuan, a full 1.1 billion yuan, which is something many people dare not even think about. But making less money is better than losing money. So this is the only way now. If there was no system, or if the system was updated, Ye Yuan might vomit blood, and would really be trapped by the big dealer and lose all his money. After selling these 3 stocks, 300 million yuan of funds were transferred to Ye Yuan Group. Although the employees cheered and expressed their happiness at this moment, they did not know that in fact, the money they could make from these 3 stocks was much more than that. Of course, traders who have witnessed Ye Yuan's magical powers would also follow his lead in investing. After only working for a few months, they have all become small millionaires. Although Ye Yuan's salary was not high, no one was willing to leave. After all, not only is the environment and atmosphere here good, and everyone lives in harmony, but it can also bring them huge benefits. The salary on paper is that much, but in reality, what is earned from buying stocks is dozens or even hundreds of times higher than the actual salary. Today, Ye Yuan is not only Mr. Yi of Ye Yuan Group, but also a god in the eyes of his employees. But has anyone ever seen a general who always wins in the stock market? Their Mr. Yi is that. Bite. Suddenly, the system voice sounded. Ye Yuan's heart suddenly tightened. No way. Is it coming again? The system has detected that the stocks held by the host will experience large-scale fluctuations. Ye Yuan. Damn it. Damn, are you done yet? Are you really going to do this? Are you full and have nothing to do? You won't be happy if you don't kill me, right? You guys keep watching the stock. After Ye Yuan gave the order, he quickly returned to his office, turned on his computer, and started checking stocks. A virtual screen that only he could see appeared in his sight. Shunlai Music, the stock price fluctuates abnormally. Due to the intervention of capital, the stock price will continue to rise. It is expected that after 3 daily limits, it will be sold in large quantities. The system recommends that after 3 days, the stock price will be sold immediately after the daily limit is reached. The host can make a profit of 230 million. Beihai trade, stock fluctuations are abnormal. Due to capital intervention, the stock price will continue to rise. It is expected that after 3 daily limits, it will be sold in large quantities. The system recommends that the host sell immediately after the daily limit in 3 days, and the host can make a profit of 270 million. Hifis Nursing, stock price fluctuates abnormally, expected. Ye Yuan had been instilled with a lot of financial knowledge by the system, and he could tell the abnormality of these stocks at a glance. These stocks are long-term stocks and their share prices have been relatively stable. After 3 daily limit increases, they will definitely become hot favorites. Retail investors will definitely buy in large quantities when they see the opportunity. According to the previous plan, I was going to sell them one by one within half an hour to an hour after the market opened today. But if capital withdraws from the market prematurely, stock prices fall, and everyone is selling, the stocks will be trapped directly. If Ye Yuan did not have a systematic early warning, did not discover the problem through the overall market, and did not withdraw the funds in time, it is very likely that the funds would be trapped and he would lose all his money, and direct bankruptcy is not impossible. And this situation occurred simultaneously for the remaining 7 stocks. What is the concept? It only means that someone is really targeting me. But who has such financial resources? An international giant financial investment company. For example, Ever Investments. Ye Yuan is now certain that Ziyan did all this to take revenge on him. What the hell is going on? Ziyan, are you a relative here, or have you been living in a foreign country for 10 years and your brain has become dull? Are you crazy? Although he was angry, Ye Yuan was still very rational. He has a system in his hand, and as long as he listens to the system, he will sell these 7 stocks directly when they reach the 3rd daily limit. Now Ye Yuan was a little confused. Seemingly. Did you earn money yourself? And made a lot of money? After these 7 stocks were sold after hitting the daily limit 3 times, the 1.1 billion yuan that was previously calculated to be lost will not only be recovered, but an extra 500 million yuan will be earned. Is there such a thing? Ye Yuan Ren was dumbfounded. Now Ziyan would never have thought, even in her dreams, that the trap she had set, the plan to trap Ye Yuan, would be discovered by Ye Yuan. Even if he finds out, he can still stop the loss. Stopping the loss would be fine, but Ziyan's subsequent operation, which was intended to bring down Ye Yuan, has now turned into helping Ye Yuan make a lot of money, or even an extra 500 million. If Ziyan knew about this, she would probably be devastated, right? Ye Yuan was both angry and amused. I mean, are you trying to kill me or are you helping me? Anyway, wait for me and I will teach you a profound lesson. On that day, without a doubt, those 7 stocks all hit their daily limit, which attracted a group of people at once. As for the first 3 stocks, Ye Yuan sold them immediately and Ziyan also sold them, which led to a direct limit down collapse. Ziyan devoted herself to the remaining 7 stocks. Having let 3 of them escape, these 7 must be caught. Just like that, time passed quickly and 2 more days had passed. Office of the President of Ever Investments. Ziyan sat at her desk, staring at the stock market on the computer screen in front of her. According to her analysis, after Ever's investment team bought a large amount of Shunlai Music stock within 3 days, it was expected to hit the daily limit within an hour after the opening. As long as Ye Yuan sells quickly before the price reaches the daily limit, he will be stuck with the stocks he holds if he does not have time to act. Then, your goal will be achieved. She didn't believe that Ye Yuan would choose to sell when the stock price hit the daily limit for consecutive days. No one would do that. Unless that person has a mental problem. After taking a sip of coffee, Ziyan watched the K-line chart rise little by little. It's almost there, it's almost there. Ye Yuan, just wait for death. Ding ding ding. Just then, the administrative phone on the desk rang. Ziyan frowned slightly. At this critical moment, was there anything that couldn't be worried about after it was over? Isn't this messing with my mentality? Ziyan picked up the phone irritably. Mr. Su, it's bad. Ye Yuan Group cashed out all of its shares of Shunlai Music before the price limit. And they sold them all before the price limit. Do we still need to buy in? Zhang Mingming's somewhat nervous voice came from the phone. Ziyan was a little confused. What the hell? This doesn't make sense. Impossible. Is Ye Yuan mentally ill? My God, does this make sense? Is it that Ye Yuan is out of his mind, or has he discovered his plan? Impossible.